to trade some Elliott wave. Wave it up.
Yes, yes, yes. What is up, beautiful people? Happy Friday, everybody out there. Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as that Midday Show. That is your girl, Ladera, and I am Sharif, and we're going to wait for everyone over to come on over from the other stream. We already have a couple early birds. The OG Darwin doing his thing. We got Collector Invest. He buys and trades collectibles. Good. That's nice. Fonzie, what's up? Pawns. We got Easy Trader and Cesar Sandoval, as well as Mythan Matthew. I hope I didn't butcher your name. I'm really sorry if I did. Looks like taking a little bit longer. There we go. We got Juan Alejandro Castillo. Big Spile Burdette. What's up, Big Spile? Damn, I gotta show you a picture of Big Spile in a second over here.
Please do.
Yeah. He just sent me a nice little video on the gram. Shout out to him. Matthew Booth. We got Quan Tran Stano, King Jesus in the house as well. Pitchbull, Noah. We got Oliver. We got Hey Davis. We got Black Sheep Trades as well as Asta and Bright Awakening. Very bright. I like that. Bora Hutt, Tammy B, Shane Stein, and Maz Ahmed. We got Raul TX Trader, Kasan Juan. We got Hans Beer, Trader Medic, as well as Thornston. I like that name. Sounds very Nordic Goddish. Blue Baron, as well as Ed George. Adair, good morning.
Good morning. How are you this fine Friday?
I've got a gnarly headache, and I don't know where the hell they're coming from, but they're here, and we're going to have to deal with them. So, yeah, sure. We're not going to complain anymore about that. That's the last time I'm going to mention it.
Fabian relating, apparently.
The Chilean Nightmare has it as well. Well, Fabian, were you... He's shaking the Advil bottle for me. All right. Point well taken there. Thank you very much. Shout out to Neil as well, hooking me up with some Tylenol, acetaminophen this morning, Adara. Anything you're looking on before we start? Yeah,
I just had a bit of a trade in NVIDIA. Didn't work out. I noticed, like I said, I've been really working on the trades I take in the afternoon because afternoon Adara is on a level of brain power that is a little bit less because she's a little sleepy. So I've also noticed, though, my other thing, I'm like, where do you tend to lose the most? I know my afternoon trades and my trades right when I sit down. Because I'll sit down, I'll see something, I'll immediately think, oh, it's a level, and then I'll get involved way too intensely. This NVIDIA trade, I watched this pop above that 120. You guys know I always initially think short biased. So I waited, we pop above 120, we hold above 120. I get involved long, 120.05s. It looks like that move we had above it was just a wick. So it happened. We break below that 119.90s in a way I don't like, and I get out. That being said, though, sometimes you got to flip the style up. If they hate, let them hate, and watch that 119.90 pile up, and we can hopefully reject that. Black Sheep Trades was saying pat the turtle for good luck in the chat. I always do. Shout out to Trenda. Trenda knows where the trending tickers are at because she is trying to take the trading turtle. What else am I looking at? Oh, Netflix. Netflix is on my watch list, pun superintended, because I mean, you know what? That net gain for their subscribers was not a bad look. And there's certain levels this one has been respecting that I can't help. Oh, clearly I've drawn lines on this in the past that I can't help but notice and be like, worth noting. One of them is going to be that 648 area. We popped into that. We pop up above here, 654, swoop back down, then we come back up, and 654 ends up being a level here. Pop, now we get a little chop, a little churn, a little zig and zag, then we break lower. Now we're hanging out near that 654. The spread on this is my qualm. I would say I have no qualms. The spread on this has been over $1 at times, so that would be my biggest qualm. But another pseudo-spready name I have eyes on with the catalyst is CrowdStrike. So this one got struck by its own update there, and it was not love struck, it was hate struck. Then it was moonstruck as we popped up here off that 294. Right now, CrowdStrike, 308. Bit of a top at 308, then we bounce beautifully at 308. Spread on this is again, okay, no, I was going to say it's a lot better. It's also sometimes 50 pennies. It's more consistent than the Netflix spread, but I do have eyes on CRWD. That NVIDIA, though, NVIDIA 120 is looking very enticing, and I might have to get back NVIDIA. Tesla also rejecting 244. There's not enough cooks in the kitchen for me to take all the trades I want to trade, honestly, but I got my eyes on some stuff. How are you doing?
Good stuff. Fantastic today. Let's look at the small cap gappers. Right now on my screen, I've been watching Taiwan Semi. It started off weak, and now it's really recovering. It blew through the 10 exponential, through the 20, blowing through VWAP, blew through 167. There is price action resistance I'm gauging here at around 169, 168, high 168s. It's this consolidation area bottom. So I'm watching to see what it does when it gets up here. I could take a nice resistance level scalp. It's also where the 50 exponential is on the 5, right at that 169er. So I'm going to see exactly what we do when we get up there. So packing my patience, we're still at third of a dollar at 168. Let's see if we can get a little bit higher and then reject. So that's the look. Now, with respect to small cap, gappers, not a whole lot on board today, but there is this monster here, triple digit winner, SERV. I've seen you guys in the chat. Everybody's and their mother's cousin is yelling about this one. It's a $200 million market cap, 83 million shares traded today, and the float is around 24.3 million share float. So not huge, but not small either. Let's check out what the float is. Oh, and I did check this out yesterday, and Trade Ideas shafted me because it does not have a short flow. So we should be able to find one possibly on Icon. I'll go up there in a hot minute to see if we can find anything there. I'm looking at this $5 area. That's the aftermarket top, okay? So this is where we got at around 7:30, 8 o'clock. We were trading big boy there in the pre-market. We really started moving at 5:15. And, you know, a lot of these small cap gappers, they love the pre-market and they love the aftermarket. No halt parameters, baby. So these can squeeze as much as they'd like. No volatility halt parameters. You can still be halted for other reasons. So anyway, $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Chilean Nightmare. I'll get to that. Oh, it's Big Spile. Wow. Big Spile is always doing the absolute most in a good way. Yeah, the $5 here, guys. I'm all about this level. So much do I like it. I'm going to look to front run it a little bit. Alert goes out at lucky number 13, 513. I want to get notifications about this one. Right now, though, it is doing bottoming tail off the 10 exponential. The 10 exponential on the 5 is at 5 1/3. It's jumping between 5 1/3 and 5 2/3. So despite the $5 price tag, it is a bit of a volatile one, okay? So it's moving dollars at a time here. Let's keep an eye on that. Shout out to my man, Adam. Big Spile Burdette, $5 for a headache. Try a Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. Okay, okay. Well, all that is legal in this country, so we will say it. No problem. I don't know about your state, though, Big Spile. You might need to be careful down there. Pennsylvania, I don't think they've legalized marijuana in Pennsylvania, have they? You don't know? Well, we can find out from our friend Gemini over here, but yeah. No, Big Spile can tell us. Anyway, guys, let's start the lesson du jour. Oh, TSM is rejecting here. I want to see just what it does here for a second. So we did get into that 168.40 that we talked about. We didn't get to the 50 exponential. We didn't get to 169, but we got into that general area of resistance around right here where it looks like we're front running that resistance and dropping a little bit before. It's so exuberant. We're the shorts on this one. So looks like I'm missing it, which is fine. We'll get into something a little bit later, but let's conclude now the last lesson of Elliott wave theory. Today we're going to talk about using Elliott wave theory with what I use the most in my trading. I don't know about anybody else. Sean calls himself a support and resistance trader. I happen to kind of feel the same way. I don't know how Adair feels, but what I do is use support and resistance a lot. So let's see how we can incorporate Elliott wave theory with it. So Elliott wave theory provides a valuable framework for understanding market trends. So very good for discerning trends. However, its effectiveness can be significantly enhanced when combined with other technical analysis tools such as support and resistance. Today, we'll explore how these two powerful concepts work together to strengthen your analysis and identify potential trading opportunities. So the power of the duo, right? Elliott wave theory, as we just explained, helps you discern trends. So it identifies the impulsive and the corrective waves that drive the trend. So you use Elliott waves to gauge trends. Then to weasel your way in and out of a trade, we're going to use support and resistance. So support and resistance zones highlight areas where the price might find temporary pauses or reversals. So how do they work together? So imagine a well-defined uptrend with clear Elliott wave patterns. Here's how support and resistance can enhance your analysis. Wave confirmation really helps with this. So support and resistance zones can act as natural boundaries for wave 2, the corrective pullbacks, for example. If wave 2 finds support at a previously established level, it strengthens the case for the uptrend and continuation into wave 3. And I've got umpteen amount of pictures and screen captures of graphs to show you at the end. I haven't incorporated them with the slides. We'll just go through them at the end and we'll talk about what's going on. And wave targets. So wave confirmation is one, and then the targets for the extension or the decline of the wave. So Fibonacci retracement levels, for example, often used in Elliott wave analysis, can coincide with support and resistance levels. Price action support and resistance levels, because fib levels in and of themselves can be support and resistance. What we're talking about here is price action support, areas where it's already held up or bounced off, right? This confluence can provide potential targets for the end of wave 2 and that start of the big boy, the baddest of them all, wave 3. But it's also good for trend reversal signals. And we talked about this a couple of days ago when we talked about how to basically assess a retracement from a reversal, especially when it comes to wave 2, because that's where typically the bamboozlement occurs. So trend reversal signals here are important. Oh, my screen just went blank. I'll just keep going until it comes back. Breaks of well-established support and resistance levels during an expected wave 3 or 5, both in this case, can signal a potential trend reversal, prompting reevaluation of the Elliott wave count. And we've talked about this as well. You know, there is an element of confirmation bias and thinking you see what you want to see. And so it behooves you to have a friend or a colleague have a look at it as well and see if they're seeing what you see as well. Beyond the basics though, so sloping support and resistance. So we don't always have horizontal areas of support and resistance. Oftentimes they are sloping upward or downwards because of the bullishness or bearishness of the market. So in a strong uptrend, the support levels tend to slope upwards. Conversely, in a downtrend, resistance levels tend to slope downward. This slope can further strengthen the trend direction identified by Elliott wave theories. And there's, like we just talked about, price action, support, and resistance as well, equally as important. This price action at support and resistance zones can offer valuable clues for your analysis. So for example, a strong bounce off support during a wave 2 pullback reinforces the extension of that big boy wave 3, where basically a weak bounce off that wave 2 support can maybe suggest that the trend is weakening somewhat. So you're looking to see the strength of the bounce or the strength of the rejection off areas of support and resistance also helps you gauge how strong the trend is and whether the trend is fizzling out and losing its momentum. So trading strategies. How are you going to weasel your way in and out of this? So entry and exit points, combining obviously Elliott wave analysis with support and resistance, can help identify potential entry points near support during the wave 2 pullback and the potential exit points near resistance during the end of that monster wave 3 that typically drives the majority of the trend. And it's also good for confirmation of breakouts. So for your strategy, for the breakout traders who want that break of the key resistance, it also works there. So a breakout from resistance following a completed wave 2, for example, supported by Elliott wave analysis, can increase confidence in a potential continuation. But always remember, guys, support and resistance zones, they're not always rigid lines. Prices can sometimes test or even breach these zones before finding direction. So let's look at some graphs now, okay? So here we have the initiation of wave 1. So what we don't see here is the downtrend that preceded the initiation of wave 1. And remember, that's what we want to see, right? We want that wave 1 to come out of, either a lengthy or well-established consolidation zone or a previous downtrend. Why? Because we want to see the winds of change. And this part over here, you get a double bottom, which we know for a fact is a bullish reversal pattern. And that's what we talked about. Remember in how to identify wave 1, we talked about looking for price action to come out of a consolidative zone or a downtrend, followed by or coinciding with what we said would be a bullish candlestick pattern, a bullish chart pattern, something there to tell us, yeah, look, the trade might be changing here. It's no longer a short, it's a long. We also talked about MACD and RSI, but for right now, we're just going to talk about support. So you have a downtrend that precedes the initiation of wave 1. I would submit to you, wave 1 starts here, concludes up there. Wave 2 starts here, concludes down here. Now that looks like it's about a 61.8% retracement of wave 1, which we know is at the higher end of wave 2. Wave 2 typically retraces to wave 1 38.2 to 50%. But a larger retracement goes into that 61.8. So we get 61.8 over here for the conclusion of wave 2. Then the monster, the biggest, the baddest of the waves. Wave 3 initiates down here at this trough, concludes up here. Now, why am I showing you this? Because we often talk about it in intraday trading, how resistance flips to support and the opposite as well. So here we go. We get that double bottom, but we know we have a support level right here, which is the middle part of the W. Lo and behold, that middle part of the W ends up acting as support for the initiation of wave 3. So these levels are super important in helping you identify the waves and to look for where the support and resistance for each successive wave will be. So it behooves you to actually draw out these support levels at crests and troughs of the price action, especially the ones that you think initiate or conclude waves. All right, and here's another one. This is what we're talking about, an uptrend support. We said strong uptrends typically don't have horizontal areas of support and resistance. Usually they're sloping upwards just a tad. Same thing with downtrends. So in this particular case, look, initiation of wave 1 down here, conclusion up here. Lo and behold, the trough of wave 2 happens to coincide with the trend line sloping upwards. And again, you guys get it. Oh, my screen went out again. Sorry, just give me a second, guys. There we go. And then right over here as well, upon the conclusion of that retracement. And over here, we have an upward channel, and it's like a bit of a compression pattern because the two trend lines, the upper and lower trend line, are converging. But again, you have that kind of the same look where the waves are being assisted by the support and resistance being created by the upward channels. And this level, this infographic over here, I showed you, I think on the first or second day, but I want to put it again because I think we have a better understanding of Elliott waves now and how Fibonacci specifically factor in to the different waves and where to expect the waves to conclude as well as bottom out. Remember, we talked about wave 3 being 1.618 times longer than wave 1. Wave 2 typically corrects 38.2 to 50% of wave 1, et cetera, et cetera. So this is the kind of infographic you can, kind of like a cheat sheet you can have a look at there while you're trading. And this one I like specifically because it has support and resistance, price action, support and resistance, as well as fibs. And so I think that this is kind of the best way to go here. Price action support is the real deal. You know, there were or are buyers and sellers at those levels based on the price halting or bouncing off those levels. Fibs are kind of, maybe they work, maybe they don't. So including both of them together and having an idea of where you can possibly have resistance or support using fibs and where you actually had resistance and support using price action levels is important, and combine them together there.
Yeah, thank you so much for going over that. I think it's because support and resistance are so key. You can find them on every chart. It's always like, you can look at it from both ways, right? You're heightening your Elliott wave confidence. You're also heightening your confidence in your support and resistance levels. So confirmation is key. More confirmation is never a bad thing. That was a turkey. Shout out to that. Also, I have had 2 trades on the Cyber Truck. I want to talk about them. My first one, this was Kate. I've noticed I've done a fun thing where now, because I'm trying to be like, oh, you're too short biased, I've been trying to like find longs where there are no longs. This should have been a short. I knew this should have been a short, but I saw some stuff in the book that was sort of confirming the long. I was able to get out pretty unscathed here at a small position. Like the second I saw any change in the tides here in the book, I got out here. We would have lost like 30 pennies. But then this second short, I have feelings about. So, or not second, my first short. So this was a bit of an add and subtract. I got involved here at 80s, then I would get out at 60s, add. Wasn't able to do it as much as I wanted to. There was a point where I realized, Adara, you just got to get everything out here and now. Before I was able to do that, it popped back up. So I was able to get out. Eventually, obviously, did end up losing in the position. Tesla's being deeply bamboozling here, though. Because on one hand, I think we could be trying to push for a move higher, right? We have clear support. Now we've double bottomed at this 241.50, though I would argue 241.60 is a more interesting level in the book. But we also have this big old topping tail candle, and we're rejecting the 9 EMA. What's a girl to do? I mean, to be fair, a girl doesn't have to do anything. But I'm just going to be aware here of what we're seeing here on TSLA. I really want to short. I'm trying to keep my short bias in check, but you also have to go in the balance of the evidence, right? If I'm still seeing an inability to break decisively above that 242, like what, 2030, that to me confirms the short thesis. We do have these lower highs. I want to see what we do here as we get back into the 90 maze. We try to breach this level again. But, you know, eventually we're going to continue to look at the balance of the evidence. And at some point, we'll have to come up with a verdict. But also, I was really proud of that, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, definitely make sure to vote for any tickers as well while I'm using my buttons. Go in the chat, exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker you're looking at here, exclamation point, join, space, $, maybe TSLA, maybe GME, maybe EWM, because EWM is doing things again today. And maybe it's SPY, maybe it's NVIDIA, maybe it's Apple, whatever ticker, whatever tickles your fancy, whatever tickers you fancy, you get involved, you get in that ticker right now. Not in the ticker, in the chat, so you can put your ticker in, and we can make sure that your voice is heard. Brought to you by Real Trading. Shout out to them. They bring us the whole show, and they also bring you guys the lovely audience segment.
All right, guys. Tired of being late to the trade? Oh, the script disappeared on me. Hold on a second. Are you tired of being late to the trade? Always playing catch up in the market, missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everybody else. Pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial today. And it would not be an ad read, Adara, unless I had to shout you out for using Benzinga. Adara is a pro Benzinga user.
Benzinga.
Hey, I did it, Adara.
I'm so proud.
I know, right? So I just want to let everybody know she's using that often, and we both use it on this here desk as well. So I want to shut them out. Great platform. All right, I'm still looking at Taiwan Semi because we're doing a bit of a range now between 168.80 and 167.40. Sorry, 166.80 and 167.40. After this drop, I'm trying to look for a trend. I feel like this one may be trending down just a skosh, but we're gonna pack our patience. I also saw Apple went red ever so briefly. It did break below that 224 and around a fifth. 224.18 is what I've got marked off as yesterday's closing print. We put in a bit of a doji, pop back up. We're weaseling our way into the 10 exponential. I could be absolutely persuaded to short AAPL at these levels, but I think maybe because we did touch low a day, I'll have to wait for a bit of a deeper retracement. If we breach a 10, I'll be looking for the 20 at around 225 and change, maybe 225.10 or so, in and around there. I'm seeing that with respect to chart patterns, not percentage up and down on the day, AMZN and Meta looking the best, with Microsoft, I don't want to call it a distant third because it's down 0.33% on the day, but it definitely has a decent looking chart. It's above the volume weighted average price. It's definitely closer to the IB high than it is the IB low. It's been holding the 20 exponential quite well. Like, I mean, this area here from 10:30 to 10:45, 4 or 5 minute candles there, all held the 20 exponential. Now we're doing 3 5-minute candles, all holding the 20 exponential there. So Microsoft down about 0.4 or 0.33%, but definitely looking a little bit better. So Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon, if I was to go long, I'd be looking at these bad boys. Google looks like a sound wave with no discernible trend to me. In fact, look, just zigging and zagging up 0.75% here. Tesla looking like absolutely the weakest of the bunch, getting shellacked today, dropping through that 250, double top at 250 in the pre. We had that touch at 7:15, then we got that other side of the M at 8:30. We couldn't even get back there on the IB high. It doesn't even go back there. The IB high is 249.01, not 250, but that double top on 250 looks quite gnarly. Now, with respect to volume weighted average price, there seems to be a love affair today between the monster NVIDIA and VWAP. Keeps rejecting off that 120 area. However, it put in a higher low over here with a doji candle at 119.25, so could be looking to weasel its way back up. There's also price action resistance at that 120 area, owing to the 5-minute candles from 10 o'clock to the big boy breakdown at 10:25. They seem to be holding up above that 120. So it's not just VWAP keeping NVIDIA below 120. Price action resistance formally support at that area. If we breach it, I will want part of the smoke. There's this new country song that uses that word smoke. You don't want another smoke. And then there's this other saying in it that I really want to use for taking profits early. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
Oh, I love that. I know that phrase. That's a good phrase.
Right?
Great phrase.
It's a sick country song. You know how much I love country music,
I know
right?
you. Yeah, you're a country. Sure,
oh, I love country music. It's called Devil You Know by Tyler Braden.
Not heard of him.
So
it's a very country sounding
name,
it's
though. Very. I love country music. Did I mention that?
You did. I think that, sarcasm.
I'm joking. What are you looking at?
Looking at Tesla. Okay. So I have levels on Tesla. I'm not playing them right. I need to breathe. I need to focus. I could look at other stocks. I am looking at other stocks, but I still think the stock that I feel the most interested in is this TSLA. We're making lower highs here on the book. I played this wrong. I tried to take this short, the 242. It's like a dare. You know the level is the 242 50s. Well, first 60s, then 50s, 30s, 20s. It's like a dare. If you're seeing the lower highs, if you're not getting filled, just wait. And now I think we have this opportunity. We can't break back above these 30s now. So I'm going to try to get involved here. Small position here in this TSLA, but I'm willing to build it. If I keep seeing these gradually lower highs, I want to be able to build. I want to be able to scalp. Am I aware this could go against me? Sure. But the thing is, Tesla is, as Sharif said, the weakest of the bunch, right? We are, and on the book, I'm seeing stuff to really confirm that. Like I got out of the short because we were like, pushed into that 242.30s, and now Tesla's like, what's a 242.30? I don't even know her. So it's like, if Tesla's going to continue to get weaker, I need to be interested in this position. I am still looking at other stuff. Obviously, I don't want this to be my be-all, end-all trade. Like I've said in the past, I don't know if I've said this, but I certainly noticed this. My days that are my worst are the days I've only traded like one or two names. I find I have my best days when, much like, you want breadth in the market. I think when I have breadth in my tickers, things usually go a little bit better because I'm not, getting too anchored to one idea, one name, et cetera, et cetera. If we break, 242 breakdown, we're going to add some shares here as well. I want to build this position. I want to be piecing in and piecing out. Tesla did not get the memo in me wanting to build. They're like, oh, well, Adara, now I'm way lower than you wanted. I'm like, okay, Tesla, you did not do that, though. Let's see if I can get, there we go, we got added here. Try to clap farther away from my mic, I apologize. If we continue to drip a little bit, I'm willing to take that Ric Flair drip. Woo! Shout out there to the Migos in this TSLA. Also shout out to Kyle Burdett, or Big Spal Burdett, who's making a Ric Flair drip reference earlier in the chat. Netflix. I was really looking at that, like I said, I like that 654 area, right? We wick up into it. Would have been a really nice short, but my thing with Netflix is A, the spread. The spread is wild right now. And B, the amount that you'd have to risk. Not really my vibe. It's staying on my side chart if we do get any levels of interest. But NFLX, certainly I think probably in everyone's watch list with those earnings. CrowdStrike as well. This 314.50 pop, again, the spread on this is what's stopping me, but no excuses. If you want to trade, you should try to take the trade. Keeping an eye on CrowdStrike and Netflix. I have no qualms about taking either of these live. I did trade Lulu off earnings live. It's just a different strategy for me, so I have to get my head in the game on that's for sure. Okay, Tesla, we got our breakdown. We took out half the position. So happy that I built into this and I have a little bit more of a piece for the dream. Like Sean said, a scared trader is a deficient trader. And I've said this too. If my only reason for not getting in a trade is I was burned by it before, that is not a good enough reason. If you still see the levels you like, you owe it to yourself to try. Okay, we're in the dollar plus club here in Tesla. Woo! And now we're out of that Cybertruck. Oh, I only got a part fill, so I guess I'm partially still inside Cybertruck. We got half a leg in the Cybertruck. I'm like, hanging out, blowing in the wind here on this TSLA. We're not going to get our full fill? Okay, apparently not. Oh, there we go.
Nice,
Adara. The S, the LTA. Thank you so much. I'm
That's
really just
big
proud
trade.
Thank you. I'm happy I added and I'm happy I stuck with it, even though, your reads aren't always going to be right. You have to acknowledge when your reads aren't right. But also, if you still feel good about a stock, you got to stand by that to some extent. To shout out another country song, I guess, Tammy Wynette, stand by your man, stand by your Tesla. Crowd, though, remember I said 314.50 crowd. Oh, crowd's coming back at 314.50. So I might have to strike this name with all the viciousness it deserves. Shout out to Kyle Burdett, $5 super chat. Shout out BC Boys. Drop. So great look there. I have no clams either, says Strobe 9. I have no clams, nor do I have qualms. I am just trading, having a good time. But I see you've got a semi-position.
Just took it out. Yeah, I just took out for 15 pennies, and then it stopped me out for the rest. It's not ranging, so I just got out of the range. But I want to look at what Jay Lee was saying. He was telling me to look at Boyle or whatever, UNG. It's a commodity at historic lows now. The downside risk here is minimal. 970 all-time lows, in my humble opinion, with heat waves continuing. power generation requires nat gas. I like it, Jay. I'll definitely keep a lookout on that. The NOS boss was suggesting to us too as well. You'll recall that he was taking a bit of a look at nat gas there. But guys, cost is moving. I realize that. There's a big move here. There's nothing on my side chart or my blotter to justify the move, but we already know that this has been moving lately as a result of, Roaring Kitty tweeting about this not that long ago. The volume on it is still sub 1 million, about 650,000, 1110 high a day. Again, nothing really coming in on my news blotter to justify the move. We'll keep possibly a price halt. So we know that, or 1110 is the high. So we have 1130 from back on July 16th. What else do we have? This one over here, that's 8 a.m. So that's probably institutional level prints. Don't want to put too much stock in that. But we've been quite consolidative. If anything, we've been holding the 50 on the 4 hour, putting a bit of higher lows. But I don't want to jump into cost because I really don't know what the hell it's doing and why it's moving the way it is. So trying to pack my patience with the trades at the moment. Don't really have anything. Let's bring in the side charts and have a look at what is moving. SCRV is the one that we talked about, obviously, that main one. It did come into that 6 1/4. It is finding support there with these two topping tail candles showing resistance at that level. So we'll keep tabs on that. Everything also is breaking down. AMIX below VWAP. DJT didn't do a whole lot today. AUGX bottom left is a buyout. So it's just trading within, a super tight range. VRPX, one that we knew about from prior days, found support here at the 50, but not a trade that I'd have. That's also broken down below VWAP. It's really KOSS and not much else, and SCRV, excuse me, that are doing, kind of small cap gapper moves today. So we'll keep an eye on these ones, but I personally would like something off 6 if I can get it off SCRV. I already put the alert for 615. It held up at 6 1/4, so we didn't get any such alert. So keeping my eye on that. Coin clock and check out MindMed, MNMD. Let's have a look at MindMed, see what it's up to. Shout out O'Leary and his crew over there. Are they still with MindMed?
I didn't realize they were MindMed related.
Yeah, MindMed is, I'm pretty sure he's still in that, isn't he? Brendo, is he still in that? Yeah, he is. He is in that, yeah. So MindMed's not doing a whole lot today, coin clocking. It's really kind of dead. 155,000 shares on the day, Fabian. If we can show the, or Ram, whoever it is. If we can show the chart, yeah, you're not doing a whole lot. 832 high, 807 low. It's about to break $8. So I don't really have a move on it. Yesterday definitely moved a little bit more. A weird looking double top. Got into about 890 and then ended up closing the day at 8 1/4. So what didn't even hold up there at that 850 where it definitely had support earlier. So kind of blew through that. So MindMed, definitely not an interesting one for me at these levels. So we'll keep tabs possibly on it if it does anything. I'm keeping an eye on TSM here because TSM looks like it is a short. It's breaking down again. So big spile, NQ at critical level. I don't have eyes on the NQ right now. Oh, 19.7 incoming. NQ at critical area on the daily, large drop to next level. Let's look at the NQ September contract on the daily for big spile over here. So where are we at? We're at the 50 exponential on the daily big spile. So that's what I see there. And we're also at 19.7. We also have this double bottom from June 23rd and June 24th right at this level. So I like your call, big spile. But I think we probably retrace a little bit more down here. Maybe if we come back into 19,000 or 19,250, something like that. Maybe 19,500, I don't know. I think we drop a little bit more. Today seems like a weekday. 3 negatory days in a row. 19,715 LOD at the moment. Let's keep an eye. Apple did go negative on the day now. So Apple down below 224. So now it's negative 0.18%. Definitely faring better than most other names that are negative. You have NVIDIA 1.5, Tesla 3 3/4, but definitely not as strong as Meta and Google. They're both green still on the day. So weakness coming in on the dead one, Apple at the moment over here. What else we got going on? Microsoft finally broke that 20 exponential on the 5. headed down into 437, and Meta just absolutely flushed. I didn't have eyes on this at all, so it was ranging at VWAP for a hot minute. Some candles of indecision there at around 482, 42.5, and that seems like a long time ago because we just dipped into 478.50. There is a pre-market consolidation area top at around 478. It does seem to be finding a bit of a bid, but still, this candle hasn't closed. So all sorts of weakness coming in on the Zuck train at the moment, and you're seeing that as well on the Zon. Zon was strong as well, holding up above the 10 and the 20. Now it's down into VWAP at 182.75. Is there a trade here on AMZN at VWAP? Eek, I don't know if I want to go long anything, Adair. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I have a CrowdStrike trade I would love to talk about.
Go.
Before I do that, though, I am in SOXL, and I think this is going to be a SOXL. Yeah, okay. I didn't like what we did here as we broke above 30s. I was watching, we kind of chopped, kind of turned. I liked the short initially because we were staying beautifully below that 48.20, so I said, I'll do a 4D820, and it's like 420, I don't know, bad pun. I'll get short that. We had that topping tail candle. Alas, it did not work out. I didn't like how we pushed above 48.30s, and now SOXL's like, well, Derry, you should have waited because now I gave you your move. But I'm like, that's okay, SOXL. I can't complain. I took $1.50 on CrowdStrike, so definitely happy with that trade on that one. So I can't be too upset about split shares on this SOXL. I have levels I want to talk about in CrowdStrike. I said I like my 314.50, right? We get to 3. What we do is we go down to this 313.50, and we hold. We're like literally at this point, it's at the 90 MA. And I say, Adair, if we bounce, you go long. If you into 314.50, though I would have been hesitant about that because this routed top. But I was like, if you break below, this is where you go short, Adair. Take a nice little short. So we pop above into 313.70s, and we come back to 313.50s, try below. I say, Adair, this is your opportunity. Also, we're coming into my next area I have eyes on for a short. Basically, my levels for this, where I want to be out around that 311 area. Knowing me, I'm not going to give it that much room. I get out at 312, so I took $1.50. We did pause, though, and stagnate at this 312.50 area, which is why I'm watching it now. If we reject, come back, so if we come back to like 312.50, break below it on both sides here, then test it again, that's where I'm going short. I want my short. If there's another opportunity for a short, I don't want to force it. I had this, I was able to strike where the iron was hot on this first CrowdStrike trade. I don't want to undo it with an area that is ill-timed or a little bit chasey. But let's see what we get here on CRWD. It looks like it does want to give me that opportunity for round 2. So if we does want me to, strike it TKO, I would love to take another $1.50 or something here on this CRWD. It's been a fun day for me. Happy I shook out my weird, mental thing about, you're too short bias, because today is a short day. Sometimes you have to take those advantages of those opportunities. I am indeed pleased as Dang Punch did miss that second short, but you know what? You got to be patient. You can't force yourself into things if they're not making sense. Tesla, though, people are saying Tesla 240 came, Tesla 240 went. Tesla 240 is back now, and we're hanging out around this Tesla 240.50. And I like that we're kind of chopping, and I like that we're kind of churning. I don't love that it's a big old green candle. This looks a little bit bullish engulfing to me, but the price action is giving me a little bit of a bearish momentum. I hear bears roaring in the back of their Cybertruck. I don't know why the bears are in a Cybertruck, but I don't make the rules. Let's see here what's going on in this TSLA. I want another test of that 240.50 and a breakdown. If we don't get it, I don't have to force my way into this trade. That's the thing I've learned from earlier today. You could have a bit of chop, bit of churn, bit of zig and zag, and then you have that trade that works. So I really want to be focusing on the trades that make sense. I don't like the chop and churn here with Tesla, so I would not be going short till I saw a little bit more distinctness here in the book. Also, I mentioned my I mentioned my SOXL, my very brief dalliance with 48.20, and I was like, Adair, you're in this too early. 48.20 still is just chilling here on the SOXL. I do think it is a level. I don't think I played it correctly, and I think I probably didn't risk enough, but can keep my eyes on some SOXL and some Tesla to see what these markets have to give us. Also, EWM continuing to chop lower highs and lower lows. Good times.
All right. Yeah, I don't have much to talk about at the moment right now. Just in an Amazon VWAP trade, break even on it. So there's not a whole lot to mention. What else? Everything's kind of headed to the lower side here, but Amazon seems to be hanging out at VWAP. So we're going to give this a couple of pennies to see if it does bounce off. We're very close to 19.7 on the futures, which is an interesting area of technical support on the daily. So we could find some support coming up here on the future, which is kind of trying to coincide that with the VWAP bounce on the Zon, but we may not even get a 19.7 support. It may blow right through that. We're at 19,704 now, so let's see if we do get that little bounce at 19,700. These 100-point levels have a way of, you know, bouncing and or zigging and zagging a little bit, giving you sometimes nice moves, directional moves. Sometimes they're very short-lived. You're in it for a second. We're finding a little bit of support, 19,704 back into 19,710 or so. So still waiting on this one, about, you know, 10 pennies out of the money right now on AMZN, but we really haven't cleared VWAP with any vigor. So I'm just packing my patience here. Microsoft also came back into the volume weighted average price as well. It had been well above that level. So let's see if the softie will also get a bit of a bounce here on the, there we go, nice trade on what's it called? What is this stock called? Amazon. We're about 20 pennies in the money now, de-risking a little bit. Let's see if we can take a little bit more to the north side. I see the closing print on Amazon yesterday, and I'm not expecting it to make it all the way up there. We're just scalping 183.71. That's well higher than where we are now. I don't really anticipate to get a bigger move like that. But what I do anticipate is a decent move up on the futures after touching 19.7. For example, we could get up into 19.775. Reason being, that's a 10 exponential, as well as this bottom area low, 19.775, could absolutely be an acceptable area to take a short as well on said look or on said futures. So packing my patience on there. Amazon, I'm probably just going to get out of this because you can tell this one doesn't really want to fly off VWAP. We already took some nice, a little bit of profit on it, but it is coming back a little bit into the 90s now. I don't think the longs are in play, quite frankly, until I see something distinctly different. Shout out to the OB, the one, the Knob, right now, because everything is super in Redsville. So we'll just take it out here for 20 pennies and then call that a day. What else are we doing over here? Some people were yelling NVIDIA. Well, NVIDIA certainly has a nice low at this 118.75 area. In fact, this little descent over here, a little bit higher than its predecessor. So NVIDIA could, I'm not saying it's going to be a double bottom, but there definitely is price action support around this 118 above a half, let's say 2/3 into 3/4. And it seems to find a lot of support there. It had 20 minutes of support there earlier from 10:30 to about 10:50. And then we had another 10 minutes of support over here. At least we will in 3 minutes if it holds that level on NVDA. But that is a long, so I don't know why I keep looking long. I need to look short. What else? The weakest one on the name, obviously, is TSLA. And this one, last time, the deeper retracement went into the 20, the more shallow go into the 10. So we'll be looking for something on these bad boys here, Dara. I'm going to be looking to get short just at the right price.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's hard to find the right price sometimes. This Tesla, though, like I said that 240.50 gave me qualms for the short. Then I realized it didn't give me any qualms for the long, so I took 20 pennies on it. Okay, but now we got my short. Now this is where the short comes in, okay? I was waiting, I was whiffling, I was wobbling. I didn't want to force myself into it. The fact that we can now break below 30s is deeply enticing, because before, Tesla was bouncing off 30s, then we get to 50s. We had that push off 70s, which is why I ended up going long. Again, you know, obviously I did miss the trade. Unfortunately, should have been a little bit more aggressive with my Tesla, but still happy I had that long bounce and was able to read that appropriately. Tesla finding a little bit of a base here. I do agree with Sharif. The long, I don't want to say the longs are wrong, but unless you have a clear plan with it, like my Tesla scalp, I was taking off book levels and I was going to get out the second it went against me, so I took 20 pennies on that. But, or not against me, but the second the thesis changed. But yeah, it has been a really hard day to find these longs, to find these opportunities. CRWD, though, shorting the pop, should have stuck with that. Was really happy with my initial trade on this. Should have had the confidence to get back into the confidence, or the confidera to shout out Darwin to get back in when we had that pop into that 312.50 area I flagged. But CRWD I've got eyes on. NVIDIA I have eyes on, but lately I've enjoyed playing NVIDIA through SOXL, which is looking kind of similar. I did have one L on SOXL earlier today, which was entirely on me because I did not give it enough risk. I think I had the levels right, which is just that chippity chop and chippity churn here around that 48.20. Now we're selling off. We come back to 48 and reject. I don't think I'm going to get that. That would be an interesting short. NVIDIA is not on the Amex, Adara, but that NVIDIA, again, think I probably missed it because I'm yapping over here. But that 119.20, I don't mind at all for NVDA. And yeah, we're going to have to see what NVD say on NVDA. If we get these lower highs on the book, I don't mind entering a little bit later. As Neil said, sometimes your entry area is going to be zones. They're not going to be exact prices. Sometimes you can limit yourself. by going a little bit too frugal, I guess a bit too intense with it, looking for certain prices. I like how we're waffling here around 10s. So I'm going to start a position here. If I'm able to get filled, I'm willing to add at 19s or 20s. If we break decisively above the 9 EMA, if we break these lower highs, lower lows that we've got going on here, I want none of the smoke. So we're going to have to wait to see what NVDA brings us for Christmas. I don't know why it's Christmas, but it is now. Shout out to the Piper. BTC is up a bit, etc., or maybe Ethereum too. Let's take a look here at iBits for a bit, because we don't take enough time to look at this one. Yeah, Bitcoin is always certainly going to give you some exciting opportunity. Ooh, this is beautiful. We have that gorgeous VWAP bounce here, 37.25. So come right back up here to 37.50s, and we're seeing the chop and the turn we had earlier. Lower high, lower high, lower high. Not just lower highs, but a lot of failed wicks here into that 37.60s. So BTC struggling with this level. Bit of a range, but not really enough of a range that I can like sink my teeth into. I don't know why I did that face. Yeah. NVIDIA, though, let's see what you do here at this 9 EMA. I should have definitely been babysitting you better. Yeah, we're going to have to get out here if we don't like what we're doing at 30s. So there we go. Got out of that. Like I said, definitely not playing the semis the way I need to. But SOXL popping back into my little area. Which was that 48.20. This 48.20 definitely have a better read on than my NVIDIA. We're going to try to get involved 48.17s. Again, if I see anything change in the tide, like I am aware of those 2 green candles, I will be getting out. But I feel better about this than I did in the NVDA trade. This is what I should have been waiting for in the first place. And sometimes you have to take those L's so you can make those M's. Shout out to my pal, not my pal, I do not know him. It would be cool to meet him. 21 Savage. Also, guys, if you have any tickers you want to look at that you've been chopping up, that you've been seeing doing their thing, 21, and you want some insight on, go in that chat right now, exclamation point, join space, $, whatever ticker you like. Maybe it's IBIT, maybe it's MARA, maybe it's COIN. I don't know why I'm on a minor phase right now. Maybe plug. James Price is saying plug, so maybe he wants to know if the price was right.
Oh.
Shout out to, I like your name there, James Price. On PLUG, well, you've got a plug right here. It's going to be Confidence and the Neilage, and they can tell you what their takes are on those stocks. So definitely be a part of this segment, which is brought to you by our friends and our sponsors at Real Trading. We love this audience segment, and yeah, we're so happy to have you all with us. We want to know what you're trading sometimes too. How are you doing?
Absolutely. I'm in TQQs. I'm looking for a retracement into that 19,775. I think we might get a bit of a, or at least into the 10 exponential. We're really extended off the 10 exponential on the future. So I think we retrace a little bit back into it. I'm long 30s. I'm going to look to wet my beak at like mid 40s or something like that. The only reason I'm getting into it is the 19.7 defend, as well as the extension away from the 10 exponential on the 5. So one of those ones where that I actually, one of the techniques I actually use for small cap gappers, but I think it's valid here. I think we're really extended below it, and I did see some strength coming to some other names like not Microsoft. Amazon was able to clear VWAP and hold it, so I got out of that one a little early. So I'll see if we can get a retracement here back at least a little bit to the high side. There we go. Nice. Okay, good. Let's see if we can get a little bit more here. I'm looking for maybe a 19,750 rejection. I think that would be good. Ideally, though, would be a 19,775. So nicely in the money, about 15 pennies in the money. If we can run up a little bit more here, we'll weasel our way out. Okay, 20 pennies in the money here. Nice trade. Okay, so this one, again, not to toot my own horn over here, but when you get extended off to 10 that aggressively, there's usually a bit of a mean reversion to be had. Again, not a technique I usually use with the futures. One that I use with small cap gappers. Once they really get going above the 10, you look for a little bit of a mean reversion back into closer areas of support, and then you can continue the downside. I'm really sad about my Amazon trade. I could have done a lot better on this. This gave me about 60 more pennies from where I got out. A really good move up there, and it was showing you that it was going to hold up at VWAP. But the thing is, it's just a negative day, so I felt, maybe the longs are you're going to overstay your welcome in the long today. You're going to get shellacked. Now, I'm looking short again. And I'm looking short at a name that I love because it's a good name for my portfolio. 224 and a third, 224 and a quarter on AAPL is the 10 exponential on the 5. And if we reject on the 10 exponential on the NQ September contract, I will want set smoke on AAPL to take this bad boy short. From where we are right now versus the low of day, it's about a 75 penny move back to the downside. But I'm going to pack my patience here to see if I don't want to have a bad trade on it, in the sense that I don't want to get in aggressively, have to DCA because I didn't enter at my ideal price. So then, I'm sitting here trying to readjust the trade. I'd rather do the right move initially. So let's wait for that 10 exponential to come in. Did it come in on the future? Yes. Did it come in on Apple? Yes. We're going short. Let's see here. We're going to give this one a little bit of room. We're short at 23s. Let's see if we can hold up at least around 50s. 50 is going to be my line in the sand. If it breaks above 224.50, I'm going to have to cut it. But ideally, we get that 10-period exponential retracement to the downside. It's already breaking into the 30s, but that's fine because it's not going to hold right at the 10 exponential, which is okay. So packing my patience with AAPL, looking for a 10 exponential rejection on the future as well as on AAPL to head back to the downside of there.
Yeah, this, I've been sitting here and watching the book here on CrowdStrike, CRWD, because, I was really happy I was able to take that short earlier.
Nice. And
I don't want to mess up by getting involved in another trade too prematurely, but CRWD, I find like I've been able to read this book okay, so I need to be way more on this name. We had that beautiful pop. I watched this thing go up like $2. I was like, Adara, why didn't you get in? But I was like, you didn't have levels on that, Adara. But you do have one level on CrowdStrike. Well, actually, a couple. It's like 312, 312.50, 313.50, 314.50. We come into 313, or we come into 312.50. And we had that beautiful push up, right? I'm like, if we pause at 312.50, that is a real area of resistance. We did. But the spread was such, I don't think I would have been able to get in anyway. But honestly, again, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I don't want to short all willy-nilly here because I think regardless of that area of resistance, we are continuing to see a bit of a chop and churn and a move to the upside. So I'm trying to talk a little bit slower here today for everybody. But the markets just get me so excited, guys. I apologize. Like, I'll be like, oh, I'm doing a good, and then like something moves and I'm like, but yeah, I naturally am a faster talker, so definitely trying to work on that a little bit here. MSFT, though, Microsoft with, CrowdStrike's partner in crime, I guess, to use a pun, because they both had that outage situation. Microsoft trying to bounce here at 438. I do like the look of this, and I think I would like to, I'm not going to get this failure. I want to show to Sharif, I say the Sharif is so good with the meta and the Microsoft. I find those of the Meg 7s to be the most bamboozling to trade because they do move. The spreads are a bit bigger and they move a little bit more furiously. And sometimes you got to wait for that move. So I want to shout out Sharif for that. I am not the Microsoft whisper that I have to my right. But I'm going to, if I see us here bouncing off 20s or 10s, I would like to get involved. I just don't want to rush it. We are, though, seeing a distinct change in the tides on Microsoft. We have lower highs, to be clear, and technically still lower lows. But we did have this beautiful push up here. That 438 breakout was fabulous. And we have a little bottoming tail candle at the 90 MA, a level that I will admit I probably give more pizzazz than it necessarily deserves. But there are times when it does come into effect. CrowdStrike, in addition to that 1350 looking great on the book, it was a level of wiffle waffling on the chart. So the 90 MA is a level that sometimes is here to stay for me anyway. So this MSFT, as we try to figure out what we want to do, some zig and zag at the 438.20, I would like all of the smoke. PayPal bounce says, who is this? Team PJ CT. I like that. Let's take a look here at PayPal to see if there's any ways to pay your pals. Also, I just realized PayPal sounds like a name that Venmo should have. Like when you're transferring your friends money.
Oh,
like
aren't
PayPal.
they? Well, they own Cash App.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's a little bit different. Yeah, I'm like, because PayPal sounds like you're sending your friends money. Like, oh, hey, let me pay my pal.
Yeah. I think that was the idea, yeah.
I think Chilean's neighbor's right. That was the idea of it, and I'm reading way too much into this on a Friday morning. We got some tea, we got some coffee. We're all, caffeinated. PayPal trying to get, actually not, I mostly had the tea. Anyways, though, PayPal trying to get caffeinated here at the 58.90. We get to 59s, and we're struggling with 59s. We get our topping tail candle up here into 59.07s. Then we come back down. I do think PayPal is bouncing, but I want to see a little bit more from this name. PayPal and SoFi both reporting the week after next. The week after next, I was saying to Sharif, I was getting the week ahead script ready.
Oh, yeah.
You check out this week ahead on Sunday morning, but I'm getting the one for the next week ready. And I said there are a plethora of earnings. There are so many earnings. PayPal is one of those names reporting. So PYPL, definitely interesting here. Not one I would necessarily trade, but that 59 rejection is, I think, a bit spicy here. Tesla back to 240.50. You guys know this is an area I have a little bit of love for, so let's see what it does over here. I'll take it either direction as long as it's a scalp.
All right, we're doing well here on Apple. It's headed up, but I'm still able to short this and somehow print on it because it zigs and zags. So on the pops, I add, and on the dips, I get out. Kind of like the Katina man killing it over there, like on the umpteen amount of VWAP dip that he had. I don't, what name was that yesterday that you had a zillion VWAP ads on? It was a crazy. The Katina man is long, meta at 477, 477.70. Shout out to the Katina man. He's been taking that bad boy to school for a hot minute. So right now we're looking still here on AAPL, and I'm liking this $0.50 rejection, and there it goes. Excuse me, there it goes. But I was looking ideally for a 20-period exponential add, and that's at 224.60s. So I was gonna hold off on adding really anything right now. I've got 36s, but I've got really small size as we've de-risked over here. I still like the short on Apple. We're still well below VWAP, well below the 20, well, not well below the 20 exponential. We're below the 20 exponential, but I really don't believe in this move back up on the future. We're at that critical resistance level now on the futures. NQ September contract is what I'm talking about. 19,777s. It's a previous area of support from today. It takes us back to about 1045 right now. So here is a 20 period coming in on the dead one Apple, and it's at 64. So I'm going to put my short at 60s to front run it a little bit. So we're going to add to go short at 60 if it weasels its way up there, and it's coming back down. Come on, bro. Give me the ad. All right, right back to, yeah, no, well, no, Adara. We have to like Apple, yeah. Right? Otherwise,
I redact my comment.
You know, I'm kidding, obviously, right? Like, we're just joking. Why not? But yeah, I'm still convinced of the short on the dead one Apple. So we're gonna continue to keep this one on the rope, kind of like the Katina man does. He keeps his and Adara does this too. I've seen Adara do it, where she just keeps the stock on the ropes and keeps, you know, a little an uppercut over here, a left hook like that, you know, a couple of jabs to keep the distance between you and the stock and stuff. So we're just.
I love that metaphor.
Yeah. Well, that's what the jab is for, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's a distance creator. All right, so I'm still waiting at 60s. Here comes 55s on the dead one Apple. We're at almost 19.8 here on the future. Oh baby, we just got that ad on Apple. Let's see exactly where we got 56s as vis-a-vis that ad. So let's see if we get that big boy drop. 56s, I said, right? So we're gonna wait over here now. All right, so let's see exactly what we're doing on said future. Do we hold the $0.50? So a lot of zig and zag right now. We did touch 19.8 and drop about 12 points, but Apple hasn't dropped as aggressively here. So decisions to be made. Do I hold this bad boy or do I get out, break even at the moment? And where's my out? My out's going to be at 80s. I'm just telling you that. So in case this goes against me, we are 2 pennies out of the money at the moment, but looking for a 20 exponential retrate or rejection and then a little bit move back down on AAPL Adara.
Yeah, Microsoft was killing me softy with its chart. Killing me softy with its chart. Tearing my heart out with that 438 bounce. Killing me softy. I did lose on this trade, as you could tell by me singing Fugees over here on a Friday. No, I know I initially liked the long. I was like, oh, we're going to have like the 438 bounce. Missed the bounce. I was like, cool. Then I wanted to get in the bounce, and I was like, Adara, you're holding that 438 looks pretty darn weak. We get to the 438, we break below. I'm like, okay, Dara, try the 438 short. Go 48 short. Go to look at Tesla for a bit, see how the Cybertruck's going. Go back to Microsoft. This thing's popping before I can even handle it. I will admit I managed this poorly. I should have gotten out the second I saw these bounces. Shouldn't have gotten involved in the first place. I did like the short entry, but I also, again, position size maybe not the best of this one either. So learning, growing, and trying, you want to take size, obviously, if you believe in a position. But was Microsoft, which I've looked at approximately twice today, really the position to have that much faith in? I don't know, right? Definitely going on the trade journal, something to reflect on today. But I am generally proud of the trading that has occurred. Oh, yeah, I'm proud strike of CrowdStrike, I was just going to say as well, because that was still my favorite trade. I need to be better about those levels, though, because they do keep giving you opportunities. It's just the thing with that one is the spread on that. If you get chopped up, you're going to get, like, massacred, like horror movie style, so I want to be aware. Yep. EWM though, EWM getting interesting, which is my IWM. First pushback of the day here. I'm doing smaller pushbacks. I'm trying to be nice to my mic pack. But look here at that 217.30 area. A little bit of a pop here earlier. Then we chop, we churn. This becomes 90 EMA. We wick into it not once, but twice. We don't get OP thrice. We sell off. Then we come. We're making this little bottom here around 215.90s. Then look where we're having a little bit of rejection issues. That's right. The IWM getting a little bit rejected here at 217.20, 217.30, which also now is in confluence with VWAP. Honestly, guys, the balance of the evidence here is telling me short this thing for all that it's worth. No, I'm not all of it's worth. Want to see the rustle and the hustle, but I don't want to rush into it. We just had that Microsoft moment, which is entirely preventable. And so if EWM does get to that 217.30 and reject, the thing is, too, we have that big old volume candle on the green side, so I don't want to get short on the largest volume candle by far of the day. Definitely decisions to be made. That being said, though, if we bounce off 217.30, I can play this both ways. You can play that rejection and resistance and support in either direction. So that might be what I have to do. This might also be the type of trade Sharif was just describing that I like doing, where you got those uppercuts. You got, a little bit of jab, a little bit here, a little bit there. Some stuff, like some of these ETFs, I'm more likely to piece in and piece out of than, say, a Tesla. So if I get see what I like here in EWM, that could be an interesting look. That being said, I know I said, the short might be scary with that big old green candle. IWM's like, but I can do what I want. Like, volume means nothing to me. I'm like, okay, IWM. That being said, I still think we're bouncing here off 217.20s. I feel better about the long for now, but right now I don't feel good enough about anything to get involved in a trade unless I see exactly what I want, wait for my levels, wait for everything to have the confluence, and then hopefully we'll deliver a verdict, and the trade will be positive. Yeah, you knew that was coming.
Of course.
But yeah, there we go. IWM, trying to figure out what it wants to be when it grows up, but I don't know if I want to be a part of its journey. What else happening here? Microsoft at 420 was a real all-time high just a few weeks back. Yeah, Jay Lee is right. Microsoft has been wild as of late. So thank you, Jay, for that, that reminder there. To be like, I do see what you mean there. I think for me, why I liked it as a short is we had these lower highs and lower lows. It seemed like it could have worked out. I'm not going to make excuses for it. I should have probably waited. But I think what you're saying is very valid. Sometimes you have to look back, as Neil says, when in doubt, zoom out. Yeah. Think about the bigger picture. Think about this sort of bull flag we had on Microsoft and just take everything together. Yeah,
Printing here on Apple, still doing it. We're doing the exact same thing you were just talking about, the rope-a-dope.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not the rope-a-dope. The rope-a-dope's a different thing, but yeah, whatever.
It's doing something.
It's all good. Yeah. We're doing that same thing, keep adding, and then basically taking it back on the dips for the defending of the level of 225, excuse me. Still in this one and taking it out on every successive retracement. I'm still waiting, to be honest with you, for either a VWAP retracement on the dead one Apple or a VWAP retracement on the NQ September contract. Why? Because we got a double top at 11 o'clock right at the volume weighted average price. So we're pretty close to it right now. VWAP on the future is 19,850. So that's a good look. If we can get into that 5-0, it's a 50-point area. It's a VWAP area. We've rejected on it below. It'll be a lower high. We already put umpteen amount of lower lows. I like the look. It's about being patient and confident enough to keep adding to these positions. So we've been printing on this. We're still 10 pennies in the money, but that's really nothing here. I want a big boy flush. And I want a big boy flush when I have size. So we're going to add. Quite frankly, there it is. So I added at an area where I like, quite frankly, south of 225, and we'll look to de-risk a little bit on every successive dip. I'm keeping an eye on this 19.8. We're still above 19.8, but I'm hesitant, or not hesitant, but I'm less inclined to want to use the 100-point here level as I am the volume-weighted average price in that 50-point level on the futures I'm talking about, right? Because I'm looking at Apple's and the future, and the NQ is what I'm trying to say, excuse me, sorry. So keeping my eye on this one, looking for that 225 rejection. It also happens to be the 50 period. I haven't really been using the 50 exponential on Apple really to any at all. I was going to say to good effect, but really at all. But what I see is it holding up there. So I'm more inclined to believe that it's holding up at the whole dollar 225 level. So let's see, we got another print there on Apple. So every little successive dip, we're wetting our beak. And I'm going to keep adding on the pops, quite frankly, because I just feel Apple had a great run up, and I couldn't be more pleased, okay? But let's be realistic. It doesn't work like that. So we're going to have a little bit of declines here, and we're going to have to just accept that and trade it completely agnostically, right? So I'm still waiting over here on Apple to dip a little bit more. I'd like it to pop again into the 90s, quite frankly, because I'd like to add again. Here it comes again to the downside. And I don't have that much size here, so I'd like to add a little bit more, if that's all right, dead one. So let's go ahead and put another dip. Well, another pop trade, excuse me, in the low 90s. We're going to set it up over here. And it doesn't look like it's going to come because now we're in the low 70s. Okay, so this one is looking like it's headed back down. And there goes the low 60s. So I've still got some shareage, but definitely not that much. Now we're 20 pennies in the money. Let's see if this one can weasel its way back down, maybe into the $0.50 over here. It is finding some support as the future did bounce off 19.8. So we came back into 19.8 off that 19.8 1/4. Lo and behold, we are finding support at the 100-point level. Am I surprised? No. Do I think that we're going to hold up here? Unsure. I think that I would like a VWAP retracement better. It doesn't matter what I like, though. I'm just looking to see what the chart pattern would, what I'm assuming the chart pattern might manifest into. And I was thinking another VWAP. And that would be great. It would be a lower low, it would be a lower high, it would be everything. It would be a VWAP rejection, and more pleased I could not be. So let's, okay, here we go in the 80s again on Apple. So I'm waiting in the low 90s to add here. So I'm still going to, hold on to my bias of short on Apple, south of VWAP, that is. So every time it comes back into a key area of technical resistance, I will look at it there.
Yeah, no, Michael Lopez hanging me and saying what Sharif is saying is that he's pleased as punch. Yeah, which I appreciate. So shout out to you, Michael Lopez. Hopefully everyone's trading in the chat is going well. I want you all to be pleased as punch.
Yes.
That's what we want. But right now, I have not punched into Tesla yet, but that 240.50s, you guys know I've been waxing poetic about 240.50s. Actually took a mean reversion long. I was pretty proud of at that level earlier. We came up to it, we whiffled, we waffled, we pushed higher. Right now, I am kind of seeing these higher highs, higher lows in Tesla, so I don't want to rush into a short just for the sake of it. But that 240.50s is always going to be a level that has my eyeballs going, Crowd, though, coming into my big old crowd level, the level that with which I think things can strike here. It's going to be 312.50. The reason I'm not jumping into the short, I definitely should have when we had this opportunity a couple times earlier, was because we did have a lot of nice support here at that 310 area, 311 area, which looks pretty significant here on the book. But yeah, sorry, my mic's having a moment.
All right, Dara needs her mic fixed by the Chilean Nightmare. He's on his way over, so I'll talk for a hot minute. Again, Apple Ram back into the 224.60s. I do not have a lot of shares here. I'd like to add that red line, horizontal line on my chart is my resting order to add in the 90s. I'm seeing a topping tail candle now form on the dead one, and now we're below 19.8 yet again. Surprised? I'm not, because it's lower highs and lower lows, bruh. And I think the future is gonna head the future is looking like it's heading down. The dead one though seems to have a bid at here. I don't know why we're not lower on Apple at the moment. So I'm trying to pack my patience for 50 so we can weasel 30 pennies there. But right now there is a buyer in the 60s for whatever reason. So I'm packing my patience. I'm looking at the book to see if there's any big boy size that's moving up, and there really isn't. So we're going to have to assume everything is really an iceberg or it's being punched in the moment. Still looking to see if we're able to make any higher highs. You're not seeing that on the chart right now. So the move here is going to be to cover at 57 to whatever beak for 30 pennies, or it's going to be to add in the low 90s. So whichever one triggers first. Are you good?
Yeah, no, I'm just doing mic. So I'm just ignoring me. I'm just going to be talking.
Sorry?
I'm just doing a mic test.
Oh, yeah. No worries. Okay, so here we go. Back into the mid-80s or low 80s, high 70s. She's good. So basically looking to add at 92 there. Otherwise, I'm looking to wet my beak at 57s. What are you looking at?
Yeah, sorry, guys, for the wait there. I'm looking at CrowdStrike. And I don't want to strike just yet. The iron is hot on CrowdStrike, though. It's at my area, but it's not showing me really enough in either direction. That being said, right now I'm leaning, okay, we broke above. I'm going long here. If I'm able to get involved here, took a bit larger size, because you've got to have, if you have that confidence, if you have that confidence that Confidera, I don't know, shout out to Darwin. You got to go for the trades. That 312.50 I should have probably gotten more involved in, but like I said, I watched us reject that 312.50 once again. Then we bounced off 312s like something like beautiful, like something I've never seen before. It was confidera should have gotten in them, but it was like, Confidera, wait, because we might still be ranging. I don't know what that voice was. We were not in fact ranging though. We wanted to break up. I do not think I'm going to get my entry here in 312.50 because of the spread, but I'm happy I tried for it. You know what? You got to do what you got to do. If you feel like you have a good read on the book and the chart, and I feel like I have with CrowdStrike, and I haven't been playing it appropriately, what are you doing, man? Feel good about a stock. You got it. You owe it to yourself to make those attempts, to make that trades. Also, I want to clarify, this topping tail candle looks like a bit of a wick to me. I did not actually see us do this on when I was watching the book. I'm worried I got bamboozled into this, though. I want to see what we do here at 312s because we are already 50 pennies out of the money. That's what CrowdStrike does to you. This is why I was a little bit hesitant about getting back in this because I was like, Tara, you had like the first trade and it went well. But the thing is, too, is it's like you can't not trade because something went better before. And that's why I've been hiding my P&L because it's not really about that. It's about the reps you're taking. That being said, do not at all like how this iron is striking in crowd. It looks like the long looks like the right read at that time. Right now, though, if we 311.50, we're gonna have to wait and see what we do. But right now, let's see what Neil's doing on his lesson of the day.
Neil. Welcome, we got the lesson of the day here, and I fought the long arm of the law, and the law won. And shout out to anybody who has any clue who the heck this dude is. But my childhood included the show Cops, which was absolutely, like, it was gangster in a way that was just amazing. But I suppose if you were to watch it now, Sharif just said Berserko, Dr. Bad vibes. There's no chance that this actually holds up if I were to go back and watch episodes, but who cares? That was a great show. But sometimes you have a trade or an idea where the stock is in a different environment than the one you're expecting. So you're expecting a stock to be explosive with a wide range, and instead you get a compressed range, which completely blows everything that you were thinking out of the window. And a lot of times the expectation comes from previous price action. So today with ARM, just give you a thesis of what we're looking at here. Obvious volatility all over the place in ARM. It had a monster level of $150, previous highs, nice bounce levels. You would just pull back from 190 multiple days, a full week, pulling back into 150 bucks with this clear like rejection candle and hold higher. When we see that, when I see that, I'm looking at this and thinking explosive in the other direction. Little V-shape action, you gap up, regain previous support levels. I'm thinking pretty clear here. Break out the top, give it to the bottom. First out here is like 66, and then you can get into the 170 level. ARM didn't move like that today. It's obvious, you guys can see, like it seriously just did not move that way today. If anything, it's making a tight wedge, lower highs and a lower lows that's finally breaking out, and I'm actually being patient with it. As you can see, it's climbing above, no breakout trades, looking for it to hold in here and maybe go higher. But all you can do, first idea doesn't work, is try to shift with the stock. So if the nature of the game here is it's gone into a tight range, then I've got to adjust my plan of action. Like either I'm going to get in there and scalp it under, with tighter stops and looking for less moves, which we did a couple of times in here, or I have to wait for it to set up for a longer run, which is sort of what it's doing. Break out this wedge, and then the first candle closing above this wedge is right now. This is a 15-minute chart. So it's tighten up the wedge. It's not a breakout trade per se, just taking the high break. It's more about this is the first time it's putting in a green candle above this consolidation. So I want the higher low, and then we'd get into the long in front of that channel. It's just a very, very patient trade from something I thought would be breaking out and then rallying the way that Meta did or something else did, where you just have to maybe adjust your plan of action. And the other thing that you also have to be able to do when we talk about shifting gears from one way to the other is accept the fact a lot of times you'll end up with a trade that is, again, not expected. In this particular case, Walgreens, you would have heard us talk about yesterday. They're going out of the NASDAQ 100. SMCI is the one that's going in, so it hasn't been good for Walgreens. Had this level at $12, broke down yesterday. Today, consolidation, break of a flat bottom. This is more a case of it did do what you were expecting, but then that's not the trade that's available to you because I didn't get a flat bottom break at 11:30. So this is a similar situation where what you're looking for in the move, again, explosive, big time quadrupling to the downside or double the range of what it usually does, that did happen, but I didn't get it. So once again, you've got to adjust to what the stock is actually doing, which is consolidating at the bottom, right? So if the trade available is simply like this part of it, the consolidation, I still like the downward trend, then that's all you can do. So you've got to take what the stock gives you. You've got to trade the environment that you're in, right? Like you can't go out there, and if you're a basketball fan, then you know there's certain teams nowadays that don't play any defense. You're scoring 150 points a game. But back in the day, I remember when the Pistons won the title, you couldn't go out there thinking you guys are going to drop 120 on them. Like you had to control the possession. It was going to be a slower game. It was not going to be run and gun. You had to adjust yourself to it. And that's what you have to do with the market. If the stock is not in the explosive range, you've got to be willing to switch gears and scalp it, even if that's what you wanted. You can only trade what's in front of you. If you fight the long arm of the law, you are going to lose. Play the environment that you're in, and then you do a heck of a lot better. That's how you can grind a little bit of it back when you have a rough morning or a rough day, is just adjust to the market as it's presenting itself to you. That's your lesson of the day here. And I hope that everyone's trading afternoon is a good one. Best of luck through lunchtime.
Neil Roberts dropping the daily hotline as he typically does around that noon hour. Thank you very much, Neil. Eloquent, informative, and awesome. As always, Neil Roberts' lesson of the day every day around that noon hour. Make sure, please, guys, to like and subscribe to Trader TV Live. We have two channels, by the way. There's more Trader TV and there's Trader TV Live. And you're going to want to be part of both because guess what? You can't see the Katina Man and Neil's trades on this channel. You can only see it on that one right there. And you can see Neil in Rivian, WBA, INTC. I think that's, Walgreens Boots Alliance. Yes, that's it. I'll be okay. And then the Katina Man, he shortened those Chinese ADRs as has been typically done as of late because they've been very weak. So if you are not subscribed to both, you are not getting the full picture. Get involved right now. And thank you in advance for doing so. All right. While Neil was dropping said hotlines, Adara was taking profits on CrowdStrike, and I took more profits here on Apple. But Adara's trade was a lot better, so we're going to start with that one. All right. Well, it's the same thing. I'm not letting it off the rope. Every time it pops in, every time it pops up, Adara, I'm shorting it and I'm wetting my beak. I think I've got like a zillion fills on this so far. So I'm going to keep doing that until it absolutely goes to zero. No, I'm kidding. Of course, it's not going to zero. Please. We're going to keep shorting it, Adara.
I like the sound you made. Yeah, so CrowdStrike, when we left, I was like having a whole moment in CrowdStrike. I was like, Adara. I was like, oh, we're breaking lower. But I was like, Adara, like on the book, you're not actually seeing anything that should give you a reason to leave, right? So just stay in, breathe. I realized if I got out where I was going to get out, those 311.50s, it was going to be panic selling. I don't want to do that. It was going to be trading P&L. It wasn't going to be trading anything I actually saw on the stock. That's why I ended up staying with it, decided to wait and see what we got. That being said, now our inability to break 313s, like I got this fill here, I think 312.98s. We're really struggling with breaking 313s, so I might just get out here 312.98s just with the whole position. I want to see what we do. There could, now I'm okay, I don't know. CrowdStrike's been a bamboozler, but I knew that going into it, right? I was like, Adara, why are you giving yourself like no risk on a stock that moves pretty parabolically and also does have a spread of anywhere from 20 to 50 pennies, right? So you have to be really cognizant of the type of stock you're trading. Just got into my old Eli Lilly mindset with much better risk management,
Bang.
and was like, let's get involved here in CrowdStrike. So there we go. Hopefully still striking with the irons hot. And yeah, like both Sharif and I in these trades where we're just going to get a little chop, a little zig, a little zag.
There you go.
Work with these stocks, hopefully get them to whatever direction that we want them to go. Wow, CrowdStrike, why do you not want 313s? Asking for a friend. I'm not adding to this till I get any more, but man, if we break decisively below this 312, to get a little bit grumpy at you, CrowdStrike. That's a promise and a threat, depending on how you want to interpret it. But also, we said like and subscribe, but also if you're subscribed, you can get involved in our this other part of the show we do. So it's like if you have any tickers you're interested in that you're looking at, you're like, I wonder what Sean or Neil would think. Well, there's a way you can find that out. Get in the chat. See, like, if you think it's elected, get in the chat, vote, ! Join, space, whatever ticker you're interested in. Then you can join the conversation. You can join the ballot, and you could potentially have your stock viewed by Neil and Sean.
Absolutely.
And there's definitely some campaigning that happens because we were always laughing at how we had Siri in there once, and SIRI was barely viewed that day. We also did as well have a C-poop one day, so any stock could be viewed. Vote, guys. Oh.
Okay, guys. There's a person that sits in this seat sometimes.
And
sometimes he sits in that seat. Sometimes he sits at the Katina Man seat, and sometimes he even sits in Neil's seat. His name is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it is my man's birthday today. So throw up ones for my man Obi in the chat. It is his birthday. Ob, how old? Is this your phone? Yes. Thank you. Obi, how old are you today? I don't know, man. Obi, I'm 42. How old are you? Yeah, let's go. Huh? 32. He's 24. Am I wrong or right? Wayne says he's 24. I'm not believing him because Adair is 24. Right, so I'm not buying. There it is. You're getting a lot of love in the chat, man. Shout out to you. Love Obi. Yeah, I'm just going to give him birthday beats later. So, yeah, it was violence around here, Adair. Everything's fine. Everything's okay. There he is. Ob. He is the one, and now he's logging in. So maybe we don't want to dox him because, you know, right there. So shout out to Ob. Yeah, man. Obi, Strobe, Obi at least 50. Calm down there, Strobe.
No.
I think you're looking at the wrong guy over here.
I don't know who they're talking about yet.
No. Obi at 50, baby. All right, let's get to Apple because it's still on the way down. Lower lows, lower highs on the dead one as it continues to experience weakness. Let's call it a spade a spade. It's technically down on the day or up. Sorry, it's actually still up 0.09%, but I still feel the chart pattern on this is quite weak. Now, I will be all eyes at yesterday's closing print at 224 and a fifth and 224, because if we hold up there and make a higher low above 223 and a half, I will go long Apple. Now, I've been shorting Apple all day, and it has absolutely been the accurate thing. And here comes 224 and a fifth, and there goes 224 and a fifth. Now, do we get that 224 hold up here? Because we're at yesterday's closing print. So as you can see, we've gone negatory right now on AAPL as it goes 0.02% in negative territory. I want to see what we do around here. I don't need to have a resting order, right? I can watch, and then I don't have to be first. So multiple levels right now on Apple that I'm watching closely, and the fifth of a dollar looks like it's giving way now because we're in the low teens. Here comes single digits. There is single digits on the dead one. Here comes 224. Wow, right back up to a fifth. I don't need to be first, but I need to be able to discern the trend. And right now I see a downtrend with possible support levels coming up. So I'm going to pack my patience to see if we can get that higher low. If we get a higher low, my working theory will be as a VWAP retracement on Apple if we get a higher low and a new 5-minute candle to make a new high, because last time we rejected at the 50 with a lower high. So if we hold up a higher low, I'm thinking 225 and a quarter, and then possibly rejecting. Right now, holding up at a fifth. We know the fifth of a dollar is the closing print from yesterday. We did have some initial support at a fifth of a dollar over here, again over here, and then we broke down Big Boy Huadunk right over here at 11:30 and made that low of the day at 223.56. But right now, the dance with no pants is unfolding at the fifth of a dollar. Packing my patience. Anything you want to update us on? I'm probably going to start the lesson.
Yeah, I'm getting out of CrowdStrike because CrowdStrike was striking me in the face a little bit. We made these lower highs. I was like, I wanted to see us get back above 312. We get back above 312. We make a lower high. I'm like, Adara, just get out. I'm just waiting to get filtered. I just want to get out of my 312s. If we can try that again. If not, I'm going to have to be a little bit less stubborn. Always a little disappointing when you add some, good trades in a name and then you take a bit of an L. But you know what? As 21 Savage says, take less L's, make more M's. I still did have my $1.50 winner on this earlier. So that doesn't take away from that trade. It just teaches me maybe I should have been a bit scalpier with my second attempt at CrowdStrike. And also, Adara, remember, the spread on this is crazy. Stop looking for things that are a little bit less difficult to get. Hopefully, we will be out of CrowdStrike in one piece next time you see me. Good times. But yeah, that's really what I'm looking at here. Tesla should have taken that 240.50 short, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. Everyone's saying happy birthday to Obi, so shout out there to Obi. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Good luck there. CrowdStrike, what are you doing, man? Let me out. Okay, I'm out of CrowdStrike. If we now continue to make these lower highs, I will flip short, but I don't want to get too involved and I don't want to revenge trade it. You got to do what you got to do. I learned I probably should have gotten out earlier, but it's all good times here. BTC flying. Says Jack B. Nimble. I mean, IBIT certainly is. Wow. We got a bit above the previous area of resistance at 37.50. We're now about 40 pennies up from that area. So great look if you have a bit of IBIT or a lot of IBIT. Yeah.
There goes 224 and a fifth. Wow. Lots of weakness. Okay, so you're getting the weakness everywhere. Everything is on the way down. The Fuge and the Mag 7, nobody's excluded right now. Everybody getting a bit of a lower print. You're not at lows for everybody, certainly. Apple is really dropping here, 223.56. Remember that number. That is the low of day, but, you know, really it's going to be 50 likely here. Wow, what a drop below 224. So it didn't even stop at 224. Like, I was looking at the fifth of a dollar, which made sense, right? Because that's the closing print. Here it is again above 224 again, but I'm not going long here until I see what I need to see. And there's all sorts of bamboozlement right now on the market. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's no bamboozlement. Right now it's a downtrend, Sharif. So get it together. No, seriously though, I'm keeping an eye here for a possible mean reversion back into VWAP, but that's going to have to wait a little bit because we need to start the said lesson. Well, hold on, actually. Let me see if I can set any resting orders here on anything, but everything is off the 10 exponential. Here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the side charts over here, and everything is extended below the 10 or the 20 exponential, and at areas I don't typically want to short at these areas because you'll be at the lower end of the range. Should probably mention that some sort of triple bottom is forming here on NVIDIA at around that 118.5 to 118.75. Ironically enough, though, it's kind of a compression pattern. Before we start the lesson, it's interesting over here because the top side resistance is definitely the volume weighted average price with incrementally lower highs, excuse me. And you're also getting marginally lower highs on the downward compression as well. So the compression pattern typically resolves in the direction of the trend. The direction of the trend is down, as we're down 1 and almost 2/3, well, basically 2/3 right now on NVIDIA. So I'm not going to guess when this is going to break down. Just want to make that observation that it's rejecting off VWAP and generally making higher lows on every incremental drop there on NVDA. All right. Let's start the lesson du jour, though, because it's the last day we are talking about Elliott wave theory, and today we're going to talk about how to use it with support and resistance. Basically, the technical tools that's probably most used on this floor are going to have to likely be volume weighted average price and support and resistance. I know the Katina man calls himself a support and resistance trader, and he absolutely is. It's something that I use all the time as well. I think Adara does as well. And Neil, everybody really is in some way, shape, or form a support and a resistance trader, at least on this floor. So Elliott wave theory provides valuable framework for understanding market trends. However, its effectiveness can be significantly enhanced when combined with other technical analysis tools, just like support and resistance. Today, we'll explore how these two powerful tools, or two powerful concepts, I should say, work together to strengthen your analysis and identify potential trading opportunities. You want to talk about something?
Yeah, no, I'm just like $2+ in the money on CrowdStrike. I'm getting out here. I'm really happy.
What a drop.
Yeah, it took $2.30 on it. Yeah, the market not really having that drop either. Basically, I got it. I'll talk about it later.
No, please.
That was support and resistance, actually, this trade. Yeah. Talking about it.
That's a drop.
I'm proud too, because you guys know I was like a little like, oh, what am I doing with my life? Like, but I don't know what that voice was, sorry. But I got short here because look at this pop here. Initially, I wanted 311.50s. I'm like, Derek, you're not going to get 311.50s. I was confident, Sean. That is what, I don't know if you didn't press that, but I was confident. We had that 311s. I said to Derek, you could add 311.50s, but this thing's going to get 311. I ended up taking $2.30, and sorry for interrupting the lesson.
No, you can interrupt any time for that because that's a big boy trade right there.
Really happy with it.
All right, so let's talk about the power of the duo. Elliott wave defines trends. That's what Elliott wave theory is for. It shows us what the direction of the trend is where each wave is and where we are within the larger trend. So Elliott wave theory identifies impulsive and corrective waves that drive the trend. And we recall, obviously, from previous lessons that waves 1, 3, and 5 are the impulsive trend-forming waves, and waves 2 and 4 are the corrective retracement counter-trend waves, right? So support and resistance in this particular duo basically highlights areas where the price might find temporary pause or temporary reversal. So how do they work together? So imagine a well-defined uptrend with clear Elliott wave patterns. Here's how support and resistance can enhance your wave analysis. Wave confirmation. First and foremost, support and resistance zones can act as natural boundaries for wave 2, the corrective wave we'll recall, right? That pullback. So you know exactly where you could find the base, the trough, the end of the corrective wave 2. And I'll show you multiple. What's up?
Elon Musk deleted CrowdStrike from all the systems, is what he's saying on Twitter. That's why it dropped. Thank you, Darwin, for letting me know. I did find this to confirm there. But yeah, Elon Musk deleting CrowdStrike. Just to give that news there.
Sucks. Elon does interesting stuff. I love this. Yes, we just deleted CrowdStrike from all our systems, so no rollouts at all. Go, Elon, go. Way to hurt them. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, anyway. So wave confirmation, obviously, support and resistance zones can act as natural boundaries for that wave 2 corrective pullback. If a wave 2 finds support, for example, at a previously established level, it strengthens the case for the uptrend continuation, which we know is wave 3. But it also sets wave targets, okay? So you can have an idea of where to expect that resistance zone for possibly a wave 1, for example, or wave 3. We know wave 3 with respect to fibs is 1.618 the length of wave 1. So fib retracement levels often used in Elliott wave analysis can coincide with support and resistance zones. This confluence can provide potential targets for the end of wave 2 and the start of wave 3. But you can also use it to basically gauge whether the trend is reversing. Breaks of well-established support and resistance levels during an expected wave 3 or 5 can signal a potential trend reversal, prompting reevaluation of the Elliott wave count. What's going on over there, Katina Man?
Short CrowdStrike 308.
The Katina Man is short CrowdStrike at 308. I don't even know where it is right now. It just printed 305.5 right there. This thing's moving 50 pennies at a time. Unreal. If you guys are involved in that, Adara just took $2.30. I don't know how many dollars the Katina Man is in at the moment. Shout out to you, Jay Lee, because you were telling me to short CrowdStrike. Shout out to him. I told him Adara has been shorting it the entire morning. All right, but beyond the basics, right? Sloping support and resistance, very important here, okay? Because it's not always going to be that horizontal, sideways, 0-degree trend. No. Typically, in uptrends, you're going to have an upward sloping trend line, and in downtrends, you're going to have a downward sloping trend line. So just to reiterate what I just said, in a strong uptrend, the support levels tend to slope upwards. Conversely, in a downtrend, resistance levels tend to slope downwards. Are you surprised about that? I'm not. This slope can further strengthen the trend direction identified by Elliott waves. But there's also typically price action at support and resistance as well, right? So we've got fibs that help us gauge where support and resistance could be. This thing is still tanking. And we have actual price action showing us where it did hold up. So we need to use both together. So price action at support and resistance can offer valuable clues. A strong bounce off support during a wave 2 pullback reinforces the idea of a strong uptrend. Conversely, a weak bounce or a break through the support at the wave 2 pullback can suggest what could be a weakening trend. And some trading strategies to weasel your way into these waves or in Elliott wave theory. You can use it for your entry and exit points, for example, by combining Elliott wave analysis with support and resistance. It can certainly help you identify your entry points near support, for example, on a wave 2 pullback, or your potential exit points on that wave 3 or wave 5. There's also confirmation for the breakouts, right? A breakout from resistance following a completed wave 2, supported by Elliott wave analysis, can increase confidence in the potential trend continuation. And now let's look at some charts. So here's what I want to talk about. So these are not marked, but I specifically did that. So what's going on? CrowdStrike is still going down. I need to load this up on my side chart because I don't see it. What's going on? How many dollars, Katina man? $3 out of him. So $2.30 for Adara, $3 for the Katina man. This thing is headed down. Yeah, I'm keeping my eye on its competitors. What's going on over there? There he is. All right. Who's that? Who was that? All right, let's continue with the lesson. So what I purposely left this chart uncategorized with respect to waves. And why? Because I wanted us to practice looking at it without the actual numbers. So what I want you guys to see is this downtrend over here. So imagine it really coming down from all the way up here. And then look what happens. We double bottom. And that's what we talked about when we talked about looking for the initiation of wave one. We said we want to see something like it coming out of a lengthy area of consolidation, it bouncing off a key area of support after a lengthy downtrend. You also want to see either a candlestick pattern there that shows a trend reversal or chart patterns there that also show trend reversal. In this particular instance, we got not the biggest and the baddest, but we got a gnarly good trend reversal pattern there, the double bottom. So we know we have support at the area where the double bottom is, okay? So then we break above the middle part of the W, which we know is a minor area of resistance. So I would submit to you that wave one starts from the strong support area and then ends at that key crest, okay? And then I would say wave two starts over here, ends over here. So it looks like it's about a 61.8% pullback of wave one, which we know is within that defined limit, 38.2 up to 61.8 of wave one can be retraced by wave two, okay? So then all of a sudden we start initiating wave three over here. But lo and behold, look where wave three, when it retraces, ends up holding up. Yes, that key area of technical support or resistance now flipping to support. And it does it multiple times over and over again. So it absolutely works with Elliott wave theory, but it's not always going to be so clean as this particular one. And in this particular case, I want to show you because we didn't have horizontal support. Rather, because the trend was so bullish, the trend line was sloping upwards. So in this case as well, the waves also coincided with that upward sloping trend line. So it's not just about horizontal stuff like we see over here. It absolutely can be a diagonal kind of upward sloping area of support. And in this particular instance, what I want to show you here was we have a channel as well. So it's not just the lower trend line, which acts as support for an upward Elliott wave. No, the crests of the channels, whether they're wave one or wave three, can also be guided by the upward resistance channel. So it's not just about a support trend line, but also a resistance trend line that can influence wave formation. And in this particular infographic, why I showed it to you was not really anything to do with support and resistance, aside maybe from that blue line, but to show you where each successive wave is expected to hold up or move into based on Fibonacci's of previous waves. For example, I know there's a mouthful. For example, wave two, as we've said, retraces between 38.2 to 61.8% of wave one. Usually though, 38.2 to 50%. Wave three is typically 1.618 times the length of wave one. So if you're familiar with these fibs, you don't have to review them. And you can create like little buy and sell zones. Again, they're not price targets, they're zones that you should be on the lookout for price bouncing or price reversal. And this last infographic over here, why I included it, because it shows both fibs and support and resistance with Elliott waves. And that's kind of what we want to do. We want to use the entire gauntlet, the gamut of all the technical indicators that work, that we can use, not that are available, but that we are actually good with on the analysis over here. So in this particular instance, you can see wave one acted as support for wave four when it retraced. It's also based on the fib levels of previous waves. So you can take screenshots of that if you'd like, and use it for yourself. Apple is absolutely tanking here. Here's a low of day that we just broke again, Adara. So I'll send it to you as I'm going to look out for some trades here.
Absolutely tanking. Yes, so the SPY, I wanted this low of day short that dropped like into 549. I was like, cool, that's fine. I did take a Tesla low of day short, though I did not take it to its whole low of day. I got out two-thirds of the position, 22 pennies in the money here. I got involved because we had what looked like a bear flag. Wow, I should have stayed longer, but woulda, coulda, shoulda, and I know that's not my style of trade. I got out because we kept bouncing off 40s. That's where I got out part of the position. I said, Darren, just get out 50s. Be happy with that. I am. I'm, no crying over small spilt shares. All good there, baby, baby. So I ended up taking, again, like average, like 20 pennies on that trade. So no issue with that at all. I did miss my SPY low of day. Another name I'm looking at. Can't believe I'm looking at this. I said this was on my side chart and I probably wouldn't consider trading it, but I guess I lied, is Netflix. Netflix is still making lower highs and lower lows, and we're approaching a bit of a flat bottom area. It's 636. I don't know what that British accent was, but it happened. Netflix, like I said, massive areas rejection here. We got that 654. We have that VWAP area. I was initially interested in this at 639, and then I didn't take it because I was like, Dara, like, I don't know, like, what happens if, and I'm like, no, Dara, we're still in a downtrend. You should have gotten involved here. That 639 wick to 90 MA and then sell off is just beautiful. It's textbook looking. But I also don't want to rush into this trade. The spread, though, is getting better on Netflix, I will say. But a 60 penny spread now. If I do, you know what I might want to wait for? 90 EMA rejection. If I get my 90 EMA rejection, I will get involved in this. I will probably risk $1 because of the spread on this baby. I don't think it's worth it for me to get into a Netflix trade if I'm not risking at least $1, because I think you can get at least 2. So that's going to be my thesis on NFLX, if it gives me the opportunity to go watch some movies there in this stock. NVIDIA coming into check, see how its previous low of day was doing around that what is this, 118.70? If we reject 118.70, to me, that is a nice resistance support, flippity floppity, and I may want to take it short. And it looks like it's actually giving me that, so.
Amp it.
Or damp it in our case.
Sorry, my bad.
No, I know you're damping it too. Or you're actually pamping it on Meta.
We're $1 in the money on Meta. Yeah,
I want to hear about Meta. That's amazing.
Kill it. Do your thing.
I'm just going to go short NVIDIA if it lets me in. I'm really just going to be taking some quick little scalpy scalps. I think this is the afternoon for it. I want to shout out all the support in the chat for the CrowdStrike trade. I'm really happy I CrowdStruck that one where the iron was hot. I was considering getting back in here at the 307, 308. Happy I'm waiting because this is VWAP. It is VWAP, so I want to make sure I have a real area to get involved, and I'm not just getting involved all willy-nilly because I can. I don't want to go chasing waterfalls, and honestly, I don't feel like there's any waterfalls to chase. I'm happy with what I did with the trade. Let's see where the next trade is. Shout out to Obi. I don't want to rest, on one trade. You got to keep going. Got to keep finding opportunities. Come on, NVIDIA, get down.
What are you getting Obi for his birthday?
We're putting me on the spot here, man. I don't know.
That was not
an
by
Amazon
design
gift
at all.
card.
Oh,
an Amazon gift card.
Yes,
does that not feel pretty apt?
That was a perfect answer right
What would
there.
you get, Obi, for his birthday?
I don't know.
You stole him the apple. He owes you the apple from
He
the
owes
apple.
me money. That's what he owes me. No, I'm kidding, of course. We're just joking about that. Obi does not owe me money. Or he does. No, seriously. Okay, so we just took a buck on the Zuck train right there. And reason is we came into that 476 low, or not low of day, yesterday closing print, also the IB low. We got into 19.7 on the future and balance. I said, look, man, I'm seeing 2 bottoming tail candles on Meta, which means buyers are buying at this level. We're also at that 476 closing print from yesterday. We're at 19.7 on the future, go long. So I did, and I had to actually chase it. And how many times have I said that about Meta? So I actually would have had more than $1 there. But the way it is with Meta, you take what you get and you go and get upset because it's just so impossible to get into. But there it is. We got in the where the hell am I? In the high 476s, got out high 477s, and now it's coming back down into the third of $1, but I don't have anything left on it. So please, this dang punch, let's see if we can weasel some more trades. Now, I had a good trade on Amazon earlier at VWAP, and it's right back at that price. Well, I mean, it's not exactly at VWAP, but you guys get it. It's generally in that vicinity. So if we start printing new candles to make new highs, Chilean Nightmare, I definitely will be interested in taking the Zon back long for $1 because, I mean, the support over here is at 182.75. We have yesterday's closing print at 183.75, and also the consolidation area top right there at that same level. So it would behoove me probably to weasel out there rather than, have to hold it and then, give back money. So I'm keeping my eye on both these. There's a very similar look on Microsoft and Amazon at these levels, like very similar charts. They're not up and down. Well, they're up and down very similar amounts, 0.78, 0.42, or 4.4, but the charts are awfully similar. You get that higher rounded top initially. You got that on Microsoft. You got that on Amazon. Then you get a lower rounded top on Amazon and Amazon, and they're both bouncing or, dealing with the volume weighted average price. So very similar looking charts. How we use that to our advantage, an entirely different story, but definitely keeping tabs on that. Meta right back above 478 again, so taking it out a little bit higher than where we got out. And I absolutely will be pleased to take Meta short again, should I like what I see. First level for the short, I'm going to be waiting for that 478.75 to 479. We'll see what it does around that. If that area breaks, I'll be looking more for that 479 3/4, 480 to see what it does at the 20 exponential. If neither of those work, Katina man, I will be looking at that 481 3/4 where VWAP is hanging out and where we have that consolidation area bottom. Tell us about the CrowdStrike, please. Oh my, we should be bringing you cake, bro. It doesn't work like that.
Why are
where
you
it's
bringing
your
us
birthday
cake for your
and you
birthday?
bring us cake.
Thank you.
Oh, can we
Hi,
get a
Obi.
word? Can we get a word? Can we get the mic, guys?
I'm accepting.
Are we able to get a mic? Oh, it doesn't. Well, it doesn't. Well, I just asked Adara what she's gonna get you, and she said she's gonna get you an Amazon gift card.
Wow, that's perfect.
I thought it was very apt. No, very apt.
Are you hanging out after today? Yeah. Okay, perfect. So I'll be around. Happy birthday, homie.
Happy birthday, and thank you for giving us cake for your birthday for reasons I don't yet understand.
It's an Oreo cake.
Oh, is it?
Oh my God, that's like my favorite cookie.
Is it? I didn't
I've
know
got
that.
the equipment on though. I'm gonna have to take off the
okay.
equipment over here because
That's okay,
I want to
yeah.
indulge here, Dara. But
That's fair.
What's your look over there?
I'm taking Nvidia short. Let's see if we can get the low of day. Oh, I like that crossfade. But yes, let's see here. We can do this NVDA. Nvidia, why do you want 45s to bounce? I don't know. I'm not a fan here. I initially got involved here at 118.670s, and I added 118.60s. Was doing a little bit of addition and subtraction here, doing some math on this NVDA. I do not like that we're coming back to 60s. Come on, Nvidia. If I want to see that rejection again. I don't like that we made this higher low. I probably should have scalped out of this because I'm feeling a little bit queasy. I want to see Nvidia stay and get back below that 118.50. If we can't get back below 118.50, I cannot be in this anymore. Nvidia's like, okay, cool, girl, I got you. We can get back below. I'm like, cool, thanks, Nvidia. That's the type of conversations you need to be having with these stocks. Or you don't have to talk to stocks, honestly, it's up to you. But sometimes, it gives it a little bit of interaction. But also, we love interacting with our viewers through our new segment. I'm proud of that transition there.
Yeah.
Called, it doesn't have a name, but it's our new audience segment, and it's sponsored by Real Trading, and you can go in there, !join space, $, GEOGL, AAPL, whatever ticker you want there. Maybe it's CRWD. Maybe you want to know what struck crowd. We can tell you. Maybe it's EWIM. Maybe it's the SPY. Whatever ticker you are interested in, you want to know about, you guys go in that chat right now and you make sure your voice is heard. !join space, $, whatever tickers your fancy. Wow, me not taking the crowd re-short at 307 was a bit of an L for me. But sometimes you have to wait. You have to watch what happens. I also didn't want to mess it up when I wasn't as confident in this as I was in the initial short. But you know what? You always learn from learn from the trades you take. You learn from the trades sometimes that you sit out from, why you sat out, why you waited. Nvidia, please stop testing my patience. No, I'm joking. It's fine. I just want to see us stay below those 40s. I might, I'm going to get out of here 41s. I'll take 20 pennies. I am pleased as punch with that in the NVDA. How goes the cake?
You got to listen to this big spot. Fabian, can I send you a video that we can play with the audio? Okay. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to send it over here because he sent it to me as a DM. I wonder if I can forward this to somebody else. Forward. Okay, so the only way I can forward it, Fabian, is through the gram. Big Spile, that video made me laugh. He's like, get down. Yeah, I got to show this video.
He did the Sharif get down?
Yeah. The Sean is Sharif thing. I'll send that in a second. But yeah, guys, if you're not voting, then the Katina Man and the Neil don't know what you want to talk about. And if you're not soliciting your friends, bullying them, getting them to vote your way, you might not make it onto that top 5 because it's only the top 5 votes that get on. So talk to your friends in the chat, have them vote your way, And so you can basically have what you want talked about. Yeah, there it is. There's the bear. The Katina man's printing up a storm over there, it looks like, on CrowdStrike. He's only $5 in the money on CrowdStrike, right? Yeah, that's not that much.
Just a skosh.
Yeah, just a skosh. Shout out to the Katina man printing up a storm on that side of the desk there. So we'll keep tabs on that. Now, I'm still very interested on Amazon and Microsoft at the volume weighted average price because they're both holding up at these levels. So now it's really going to be about which one I decide to look at over here. They're both doing the very similar thing. In fact, actually, let me restate that. Amazon is at or below VWAP while Microsoft is above it. But what's doing more volume at the moment? So Amazon is at 25.4, Microsoft's at 12. So basically half the volume that it's doing. But I'm not getting that directional move. I mean, I got it initially, and you saw how bad this initial trade was because I didn't take it out for the bigger move. But I do like this area. Let's see, what are we doing? We're at 19.7 again with bottoming tails. Let's go along here on the Zon, and we're going to give this one the old college try or community college or whatever you graduated from there. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, we're long Amazon at this level. We're looking basically for a VWAP hold and a 19.7 hold, but you know, I'm not going to give this all that much room. It's going to have to hold up here or there.
Sharif, I have some qualms, and I feel like you might be able to help me sort these out.
Sure.
I kind of want a short meta here, but I'm not the meta whisperer, and I know you have levels on meta.
I like
this
meta
is not a bad
479,
look, right?
478, 60.
I was thinking 478.
Yeah, well, the 10 exponential is right there, so it's been rejecting. I like your idea.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I was like, you got to have your own confidence, but sometimes it's nice to, you know, we were saying with Elliott Wave, sometimes you want, you know, other people seeing the same thing you do, so you know you're not alone in the tides there. Weird analogy. I want to see what we do here. If we get up to that 478, I'll probably like 30s to 50s, depending on how the spread is. That's where I'll have to get out. Like I said, I find it for myself, for my trading style, a little bit more freeing to not use the hard risk to reward ratios. I find that's when I get cut up. So that's why I like to use more areas, or if I see things in the book or tape that don't happen. Well, because I mean,
that actually makes a lot of sense.
Thank you, right? Yeah. I think it depends. Well, for my style of trading too, if I'm scalping, I just want the move.
Well, remember what we said about the IB high, the IB low, and fibs is that they're zones, they're not prices.
Exactly.
Right? So I agree with you 100% on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we're doing well here on the Zon. It did break up a little bit. We wet our beak there at 10s. Let's see if we can get something around the closing print, because this is what I said last time, and I didn't hold on to it long enough. So I'm gonna criticize myself. It's the only way that I'm going to improve, because I did want to hold it into 183.75. Look, come on, bro. It came into 183.80 last time. Now, I'm not anticipating as high of a bounce because we've seen successively lower general area tops on the Zon on the day. So if we, you know, weasel up to maybe 50 pennies, 40 pennies, that will suffice for me. So let's go ahead and put that up there right now. Let's take out everything at the third of a dollar if we can, and we're just going to leave it there. Now, to get out, it's gonna, where are we long? 97s. So we're right back at break even as the future, right back at 19.7 again. So I'm watching the future, I'm watching Amazon. I was able to de-risk, but definitely want some smoke a little bit higher than we are right now. But if it doesn't give it to me, what is my move? So we are going to zoom in a little bit over here. Now, the low of the previous 5-minute candle is at 69. I got long 97s. That doesn't make sense to me from a risk to reward perspective. So what I will be doing is looking to see whether or not I can add at that general area. So on the way down right now, a bit of a topping tail candle, an inverse hammer candle, but still above the volume weighted average price. I certainly will be interested in adding in the low 70s, high 90s, somewhere around there. Almog, great day, you two. And if I may ask you to explain, what are the plus signs on Adara's tape? Yeah, I mean, it just shows up automatically. I'm not sure what they are. I took them off mine. I can take them off hers, but I don't think you really care, do you?
For me, for my tape reading and my scalping, it's a lot based on movement. It's based on like the pace of things. What am I seeing? Am I seeing a lot of like, you know, so for me, the dark red is
asking about the plus.
Oh, just kind of explaining the system. Yeah, I think for both of mine, it's really, I look more at colors and movement, which I know is maybe not like the most, I need to get more into it. But for me, it's going to be based more on the movement of what I'm seeing it for how I read. That's why I haven't taken it off.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the plus signs don't mean anything, Almag. You don't, they do mean something, Neil. Okay, here we go. Neil's there. Let's get Neil in. Okay, well, we'll wait a little bit till Neil is ready. Fabian, let me know when he's ready. Anyway, still watching. He's good to go? Okay, we'll throw it over to Neil.
So I have a level 2 up, and it's very, very simple what those are. I don't use them because I like to see the entire book at each level, but each one of these price groupings, right, 2502, you have all of these different gateways that you can trade. The plus is just if you choose to have it aggregated, and then you'd see one total number for the book. So you could elect to have only that and just see how many shares are total at that price level, as opposed to seeing it spread throughout the book. I like to see the compression back and forth. A lot of traders will have one or the other. Either they have the individual books up there to see each, or they'll get rid of all the books and they'll only have the plus for the consolidation. So, it's just a different way of looking at things. It's all up to preference. I have a bunch of different colors on my level 2. Some people will go with like one shade and then different shades of the same color. It's just a matter of preference. But most people tend to only look at one or the other. Like if you have the pluses, I don't know that you need that depth of book as well, because it's just adding it all up, guys.
Again, hot lines. Neil Roberts. There it is. Shout out to Neil. Thank you very much for that explanation, Neil. I mean, I took those off I think the second or third week I was here.
Really?
And so I haven't seen them in a hot minute, but I know all the new traders, when they put on their level 2, they always ask about it. So it jogged my memory a little bit there. I'm still in this Amazon trade. We're moving up incrementally. I think we just got up to the mid-teens. So I'm trying to pack my patience here. I want something around the third of $1. I think that makes sense given the lower highs. I'm gauging it, I think, in the right way. Here come 20s. So I'm happy with this move right now on AMZN. It's just about where we take it out and whether or not I get frugal and take it out earlier there.
Yeah, NVIDIA, I did not like what we were doing here. Oh my gosh, NVIDIA, you're not even gonna film me? Come on, man. I did not like what we were doing here in NVIDIA around 60, so I said to Derek, just get out. To be clear, I initially liked the short. I thought we were gonna chop, I thought we were gonna churn. And to be clear, we still might, but I was seeing higher lows in the book, which is why I got out. I'd rather get out than, you know what I mean? Like, why am I in a trade that I don't feel good about, that I don't have the confidence in? Speaking of confidence, thank you, Sean, for shouting out Sharif and I in the chat. There was way too many sounds all at once. But yeah, I'm really happy with the trading that's been happening today. I want to shout out Sharif as well. It's just been a really fun day, I think, for a lot of different styles, depending on what type of trader you were. You had opportunities, so I think, and I mean, the day is still going on. You still have opportunities, so I think that's been fun. Meta, I did get out of. Happy I tried it, though, because I did like the idea of the trade. I saw this, it was like salivating. I was like, oh, look at this area. We come up to that 478 that we previously held as support. We reject. Oh, it looks beautiful. Happy I tried it. I got out, I think, lost about 40 pennies in this. Like I said, I was going to see what we did around 478.50s. Did not like what we did around 478.50s, and so did not get involved. CrowdStrike. Let's see how, because I know Fabian showed it to Fabian, was saying earlier they were covering that Elon CrowdStrike story on CNBC. They have now switched on to Coca-Cola, which, by the way, reports next week. But this CrowdStrike short, this still looks kind of spicy. We get to 306 and we reject. We're really rejecting that VWAP. The thing that makes me a bit nervous is we're seeing a bit of a curl on the candle, but these kind of bullish wicks. So I want to be cognizant of the fact there could always at any point in the market be a change in the tides. That's what makes it challenging. This also makes it so fun, right? You literally never know where you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates or a box of tickers or what have you. But one ticker I have my eye on as well right now, coming into an area that's kind of interesting to me, is TSLA. Tesla definitely had a little bit of a bullish trajectory after going to 237.50. We wick into lows of day, 236.80. Then we form a big old wall here at the 90 MA. The 238.20 level is sure interesting. My big level, though, on this TSLA, and one that I was taking profit on when I was in that short earlier, 238.40. 238.40 was weirdly support, and so I want to be cognizant of that. I don't know if I want to necessarily get involved unless I see that 238.40 rejection. If I see that 238.40 rejection, I think you guys know how much smoke I want.
He's going to want all of it.
Yeah, I think so. You know what I mean?
I have to have some of this.
Please do. Please enjoy. I had a bite already. It's so good. Thank you again to Obi for giving us cake for his birthday, question mark. But yeah, shout out there. Tesla, though, if you want to, Tesla wants to hold in that previous area. Oh, don't mind if I do, Tesla. Tesla, I'm going to go long 238.40s if I still see things I like in the book. Small, okay. I need to wait for Tesla, but Tesla, I'll take you either direction. You just give me a wink. How are you doing?
Good. We just took out. Thank you, Fabian. Appreciate that. Just took out AMZN there. Please just punch with this trade. Did a little bit better than the previous one. The previous one, we were too quick to take it out. This one took it out at $0.01. It did weasel its way up to 30, but didn't cross into 33s. So we just take it out at the 5th. Happy with it. Amazon's still red on the day, believe it or not. It's going to go green only if it breaks through $0.75. It's got to break above this level over here. So what we're getting right now is a bit of a retracement. I think Adara astutely pointed that out when she was talking about Tesla, because we're getting a nice curl back up here on some of these Mag 7 names. But I am still thinking short, because what we see umpteen amount of times on a downtrend is these little pops that need to be shorted. Now, where you short them at, that's the question. So sometimes you can see it holds up at the 10. That's the green line. Let's just take Tesla, for example, okay? Green line, reject. Green line, reject. Over here, we get into the yellow, the 20 exponential. We do a rounded top, lower lows, lower highs, huadunk. Then we start respecting 10 again. Then we get a little bit deeper, reject off the 20. Now we're kind of looking like we might come back into the 20 here on the Cybertruck or whatever other Mag 7 name you're interested in. The 20 on my chart is at 239.50. Now let's look at the Apple, for example, because this one did a bit of a different dance. Reject off 10, 10, 10. Everything's rejecting off 10. Okay, so now it's going to reject off the 20. This one chose the 50, and that's why the bamboozlement is real. It's fast and furious, and sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. That's why, you know, if it's respecting the instrument or the indicator on the day, use it. If it's not, don't. Right now, it just rejected off the 20 this time for whatever reason. Hey, I like the 20 now. The 50 is not in vogue. So, I mean, you're going to have to choose your areas and take risks, or you take a small entry at one exponential moving average, add if it moves up into the second one, and then basically look to DCA, a planned DCA. Otherwise, you know, it's just your guess is as good as mine where it ends up retracing. So keeping an eye on Apple here is it put in a topping tail through or into the 20, which also happens to be the closing print from yesterday, 224 and a fifth. So if this, okay, I'm going short Apple. Let's go back to Apple quickly. Where the hell is it? There we go. Let me just see that I know what I'm seeing over here. Okay, yes, this is the short. I like it. Let's go short. So taking Apple short here, looking to cover around $0.75 if we can get it. The reason I got short there, topping tail candle into the 20, and there it is, nice. Topping tail candle into the 20, and then it does makes another 5-minute candle to make a new low. So let's wait down here. I'm going to wait around $0.75. So we'll wait for around that, see if we can get $0.75 thereabouts. Here comes low 80s, but zigging and zagging as usual, mid 90s, low 90s. Let's see if it can work its way back down into the 80s right now. AAPL short here, Dara.
Yeah, I took Tesla long. Now I'm Tesla short. Like I said, Tesla, you want to flip, you want to flop around 238.40s, I will flip-flop with you. That being said, I do think, I'm happy I tried the short, but the short was very short-lived, pun intended. Took less size with the short as well. So the reason I initially flipped long was because, like, you know, Sharif said it really well. I'm not going to repeat it. We both were saying Tesla. For me as well, in the book, Tesla was holding that 238.40 level. That was massive resistance earlier, or sorry, support earlier. So, like, if you want to hold that support again, that's pretty key to me. Then I realized we were getting lower highs. I got out of the long, only ended up taking 10 pennies. Then I flipped short because we started rejecting at that 238.40s. And it looks like short was the right idea. Would have been 30 pennies in the money, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. Ended up losing like 10 pennies. Didn't like what I was seeing in the book, so I owed it to myself to trust myself on that. Nice. In my opinion, anyway. Yes. You got to go with what you can live with. I could live with leading that trade. Nice. Tesla, you want to bounce off 238s, Tesla? I don't know what that dance is, but don't mind me. TSLA. Can't believe it's already 1 p.m. We're going to have a lesson of the day to get to soon one last time. Not Neil's lesson of the day. Trademark. No, I'm joking. I'm trademarked. But if you like the lessons, if you like anything you're seeing on this channel, hopefully you do, you can go in the chat right now. Exclamation point. Join. Space.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, sorry. You can like or subscribe, too. I forgot. That's what I was trying to say. And then I meant to do the thank you for the join button. My brain is in a blender. And so are these markets. But yeah, to vote, exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever tickers you're fancy, to like and subscribe. And so you can actually vote. You do need to like and subscribe. So make sure you subscribe. Join our lovely community. And then we can be a part of everything we do here. Shout out to Garov and a couple other people mentioning Hood here. Everything is weak, and Hood does is like, no, I'm cool. I will live. Hood is, yeah, this is a great look. Not anything that's giving me like pushback levels or anything. 2350. This, okay, yeah, don't do that. I think I know what conversation is happening here. I'm going to stand by Sharif on this.
Yeah, Ram.
Look at this, too. We get to this 2350. We have this wick. I know what they're like. We have this wick on here, 2350. Then we break Baloo. We go to the VWAP, we pop back up, and look where we bounce. 2350. I think that's a nice look here for Robinhood. Support resistance flip-flops are always nice, aren't they? I think so. But good look there. Tesla trying to make a double bottom, but I will have to wait, to see what I want. Oh, Crowd, what are you doing to me? Crowd, I do not want to be in a trade on you while I'm doing the lesson. But you look.
VWAP. Ooh.
It looks beautiful, but it's not just VWAP. It's also 90 MA, and it's also the base. It's okay. I don't mind.
I don't care. It's not going to bother me.
Are you sure?
Yes. If you want to trade CrowdStrike, I can do the lesson.
I might want to do.
Okay.
Thank you. I
So I'll do the
appreciate
lesson.
that.
We'll do it in like a few minutes because
Yeah.
I'm still watching Apple. So here's the look. Apple dropped big. So it was a 20 exponential, topping tail into the 20 exponential, into the closing print from yesterday, which we know is 224 and a fifth. So waited for the first 5-minute candle to make a new low, entered, cover. Again, as per dang usual, I do not hold long enough. I'm going to make a decision probably from, very soon to start taking a bit more size here because the beak wetting is, there's just not enough. So on the way down, right into the low of day. Again, the low of day we know is that $0.25 at 27s. We're doing the dance right now with 50 pennies. But it's been lower highs, lower lows on AAPL successively. I mean, we didn't even zig and zag, like make a new high and then make a new low. No, we've been very consistent in our pattern today. So that is the look there. Big Spile Burdette says we're ES testing 5,500. Let's look to see what the ES is doing. So on the right, you'll see the NQ. Let's just put them over here so that I don't have anybody asking me. NQ, we'll put that, and then ES, we'll put it. Very similar charts today. So, that hasn't always been the case as of late, but there you go. Rejection, double top right there. That is at 11 a.m. Same thing over here. Makes a new low, pops up, basically almost touches VWAP, basically touches VWAP, makes a new low. So very, very similar looks on the NQ and on the ES. The NQ taking it more on the chin though, 1% in negatory, ES 0.8. Very similar. I mean, between them today, and that hasn't always been the case as of late. So 5,500 says Big Spile. We're at 5,550 right now, Big Spile. You think we're going to drop another 50 points? Jeez. That would be an intense
The bear
drop.
in him is growling there. That's what that's telling me.
Well, yeah. Well, you got to see that video. You got to see that video. He's like, get down. You could see definitely some bear there.
Remember the day yesterday when I had a whole jump scare moment?
Over here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm
you could
walking
see her.
by. I'm gonna, I can't do the sound the way Sharif did it, but I'm just walking by. And then I hear, out of nowhere, get down, in the most guttural voice I have ever heard it said, from courtesy of Sharif here.
Yes.
And I legitimately was like, in a horror movie, I was like, but yeah, so shout out to Sharif, who is definitely giving us these moments.
Poofy from the back.
Pardon?
Why is my hair so poofy from the back?
I cannot call, I don't know. But also, yeah, I can do the lesson. I'm not going to be able to get into CrowdStrike, so I'm going to do the lesson. Also, CrowdStrike giving me a bit of hesitation. We did have this gorgeous rejection, but now we're bouncing off that 306 area in a way I don't like. So thank you for offering those, Sharif.
Can I
can do
read
the
one
lesson.
thing?
Please
yeah,
do.
no problem. Racer X9, Sharif, bro, we have not traded in fractions in over 3 decades. And we never traded fifths or thirds. Please get with it. I'm sorry. I'll stop. I don't know. I didn't know that was such a polarizing thing.
I love fractions.
I like fractions too. I didn't think that they were.
I've started doing it too.
Did we cancel fractions or something like that? The Fabian likes divisions more. I can respect that. Yeah, I can respect that. Big Spile says 55.35 support on the ES because he was talking about 5,500 before. He likes 55.35 support on ES Adair.
Thank you. And shout out to everyone here in the chat. Yeah, Elon in the chat, not Elon who sent CrowdStrike to the downside. Elon in the chat saying that CrowdStrike looks like it's continuing down. I think that could be true as well. I just didn't have, I really wanted through 675s, wasn't able to get that, and I didn't want to chase it. So that was why I'm waiting. But maybe there'll be a beautiful level when I come back to the lesson. Pablo Huise, though, before we get to the lesson, $2 super chat. What happened with Amex? I'm guessing you mean AXP, American Express here, which had its earnings. And I guess some people cashing out of this stock. Ooh. I was pretty proud of that one. That's for sure here. The earnings themselves, I will say this is some of the best EPS guidance I've ever seen. I said to Sharif, these EPS guidance for the fiscal year dope. They literally, so I think the estimate was $12.97.
Yes.
They raised their guidance. Keep in mind, it was already pretty good. Raised it. They're looking for $3.30 per share to $3.80 per share for the fiscal year. Keep in mind, analysts wanted $12.97. So MX, that's not bad. It's really not bad.
It's really good.
But they missed on sales.
Yeah.
AXP though, oh my gosh, if this thing wants to have an upward trend, this might make my side chart. But right now, we're gonna wave on over, mosey on over to Elliott Waves. For the we're waving bye to this lesson. It's the last time we're doing it right now. But
Wave bye to this Oreo right here.
enjoy. But Elliott Wave theory, obviously, as we know, can provide a valuable network or framework for understanding market trends. However, its effectiveness can be significantly enhanced when combined with other technical analysis tools like support and resistance. I showed it to Obi Confluence Resistance there for the birthday with the cakes. Today we're going to explore how these two powerful concepts can work together to strengthen your analysis and identify some potential trading opportunities. So let's talk about the power of the duo, the dynamic duo. Shout out to a show that we reference quite frequently on here, the 1966 Batman show. Let's talk about the power of the duo here. Elliott Waves define. Both Ram and Fabian getting a little spicy here. But yeah, basically here, Elliott Waves define trends. The Elliott Wave theory can identify the impulsive and corrective waves that define or drive the trend. You also have here support and resistance, right? How do they work with Elliott Waves? Well, they with support and resistance zones, you can highlight areas where the price might find temporary pause, a quick breath, or a reversal. But how do they work together? How do they work in symbiosis? How does this happen? How do they come together? Well, imagine you've got a well-defined uptrend with some clear Elliott Wave patterns. We're going to talk about how support and resistance can help enhance your analysis of that. Let's talk about wave confirmation. Okay, I have to stop here with this super chat. Do you want to read this one? Or
Absolutely,
I thought you might want to.
Yes, Justin, I just want to get his full name. Justin Swearingen. $9.99 super chat, $10. Thank you very much, Justin. Justin, it's not the money here. It's your comment that I really like. Fractions are fun. Midday show is the go cheese. Shout out to Justin. Thank you very much for the super chat. Adara and I very much appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm just commenting on his super chat because I love fractions and math. So shout out to you, Justin. I hope you are having a great trading day. As I always, say, we always want people to print. But yeah, so basically, when you have your wave confirmation, when you've got your uptrend with your Elliott Wave patterns, you want to see support and resistance zones because they can act as natural boundaries for wave 2 or corrective pullbacks. So if you have a wave 2, finding support at a previously established level, it strengthens the case for the uptrend continuation, wave 3. Now what about wave target? So Fibonacci retracement levels, which are often used in Elliott Wave analysis, can coincide with support and resistance zones, and this confluence, shout out to Obi there, happy birthday, can provide potential targets for the end of wave 2 or the start of wave 3. So let's also talk about trend reversal signals. So when you have the breaks of well-established support or resistance levels during an expected wave 3 or 5, that can signal a potential trend reversal, which can prompt a reevaluation of that Elliott Wave count. I got to shout out those Sean saying he's very happy. Quote, I prefer to celebrate success of other traders and especially Trader TV Live. Thank you so much, Sean, here. I'm happy that we were able to crowd strike together, although I think we took it at different times and not even maybe at the same time. But shout out to Sean and this awesome community here. I just had to read
Shout out to the Katina, man.
Yeah, shout out. But let's talk about going beyond the basics. Let's say you've got sloping support and resistance. I don't mean slalom skiing. I do not mean ski slopes. I mean support and resistance. You've got your... why not? Yeah. I also love the word slalom. But imagine you've got a strong uptrend, right? And the support levels in these uptrends tend to slope upwards. But conversely, in a downtrend, resistance levels tend to slope downwards. And this slope can further strengthen the trend direction identified by Elliott Waves. What about price action, though, at the support and resistance? Well, it can offer clues when it's at these zones, because if you have a strong bounce off support during wave 2 pullback, that might reinforce the uptrend. Conversely, a weak bounce or a breakthrough support can suggest a weakening trend. So there's definitely things to keep an eye on there. What about trading strategies, though?
Yeah?
Oh, Sean did a walk and talk, guys.
I love it. I'm definitely going to get liked
and subscribe, which you can also do to the show. But yeah, so basically, let's talk about your trading strategies with these waves. Your entry and exit points. Combining Elliott wave analysis with support and resistance can help identify potential entry points near support during wave 2 pullbacks and potential exit points near resistance during wave 3 or 5. Let's talk as well, though, about confirmation for breakouts. A breakout from resistance following a completed wave 2, which is supported by Elliott wave analysis, can increase confidence in a potential trend continuation. But remember, here's some examples here. We'll say this first, though. Remember, though, support and resistance zones are not always going to be rigid lines, and prices can sometimes test or even breach these zones before finding direction. And by combining Elliott wave theory with support and resistance, you can gain a more comprehensive understanding of market behavior. Meridian, though, saying something in the chat I don't disagree with, and I really want to say, because I've noticed this as well, hugging the support level too hard can equal a bear signal, in my opinion. I don't think that's always the case, but I think you are right. Sometimes if we're way too close to the support, it can be a little dicey. So shout out to Meridian for saying that. Here's some examples of Elliott wave and support resistance zones. You see some minor resistance and minor support, strong resistance, strong support. Then we see this breakdown when you've got major resistance tested multiple times, and that's when you have these waves coming in, right? So let's talk also about uptrend support. You're in a natural uptrend, and you have that support line inherent in that uptrend, and we have some of these waves coming there off that support. Upward channel. Don't you think we could maybe have Elliott waves there too? We can. Look at that. We have a wave here into this upward channel. I just think that's really cool. You can find these things in confluence with other aspects of the market. And here's Elliott wave on fib levels. Shout out to Trader Tammy. You can check her out with Neil and myself on that market recap show. Okay. And look here, we're Elliott waving here. Then we break down on, we have the support and resistance here on the fibs on the way up and the wave down. And both are corrective and impulsive waves. But let's see to fib levels and support resistance zones. This is like double confluence, guys. You've got waves, or triple, I guess. You got waves, you have fibs, and you have support and resistance. And you also see here when these waves become invalid, because you don't want that wave 4 to go too high, right? You're like, hey, if we get to this fib, it's good. If we get to that 0.5 fib, as Sharif sometimes says, you're not going to be able to hang. You can't hang there. So I think that's a really cool look, how you see these retracement ratios, extensions, and ways to make things work. So that's this lesson. We're going to wave goodbye to the Elliott wave lesson, but hopefully you guys learned something, because I think even if you're not going to necessarily trade with these styles, it's good to know how other people approach the market from a psychological perspective. Yep. Water time.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Adara, for that. I was going to say maybe we can put like a poll or something for next week's lessons. We were thinking gaps. But there's also a bunch of things we didn't do. A lot of people want to see layout stuff. I don't know how we could do this here without just, without putting the poll. Yeah. Okay, so all I have to do is type in the question and send it to Fabian. And the answer is the options, I guess. The thing is, Fabian, we're thinking still of the options like layouts, gaps, something else. We'll think about that. Big Kyle, I'm not reading that out. Yeah. Okay, yeah, guys, throw it in the chat, whatever you guys want lessons on, and then we'll try to narrow it down. Good idea, Fabian, shout out to you. Throw it down there. There we go. Baser says supply demand zones. We did accumulation and distribution, I think about a couple of months ago. If that's what you're talking about, lesson on shorting or puts. Sadly, I suck at options, so I don't really want to start talking about things that I'm not good at. So it was one of all my things to get better at this year. It was a New Year's resolution that I never got around to. So options be great, says Martha Chandler. Don't I know it? What else is being talked about here? Should we start to short the pre-market? No, that's not what we're looking at there. Throw in your idea for a lesson for next week. Otherwise, I think we're just going to probably go into gaps there. What do we got over here? Nothing quite yet. Oh, Fugazi Bear. $10 super chat.
So much.
They try to wear me out, then scare me out. Take my cash with their whiplash. It's never the same, but I see their game. They're crazy with their Fugazi. I don't scare because I'm a bear. Bang. Absolutely love that. Shout out to you, my man. I love it. Mission passed. Respect 99. That's ridiculous, Fabian. I love that. That's obviously GTA right there. I could see that a mile away. I know that's a GTA font. I played Vice City so much. I love that game. Anyway, shout out to you, Fugazi Bear. Yes, Fabian. Fabian's all about that Vice City Live. I started on PS2, then I may or may not have downloaded a PC version. But I own the original, and so whatever. Step off. Everything's good there. Don't worry about it. Anyway, bang, 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 says Nick G. Shout out to you. Jay Lee Adara, Sharif, did you get any Boyle long from 1025? It's up solid green candles now. Bring it up, please. I swing trade this. What does FYFWIW mean?
For what it's worth.
For what it's worth, I remember. Jay always uses acronyms like that. Shout out to him. All right, let's bring up the Boyle. Let's bring it up over here. Boyle, guys, is a triple or double? I think it's triple levered. Let me just double check that so that I'm not wrong. Fees, expenses, twice. It's double levered. Okay, so Boyle is double levered the Nat Gas ETF. Here is the 15-minute look. Well, first, let's start with the daily, okay? Because it behooves us to show everybody the daily. I know, Jay, I know you have different opinions about being at all-time lows, this, that, and the other, and I completely get it. Jay, you know that I lost a little bit of money on this one. I was able to come back into my level, but I still did lose money on this one, so I'm not going to be quick to get in. Now, this used to be, or this level over here was like the $3 on UNG. That's pre-split. Now, what I don't like, Jay, is the break and take of the double of the 50 exponential here on the daily. You do a double top. You hold the 50, the middle part of the M holds the 50. So you're like, fantastic, higher low. We're going to make a higher high. You add, then the bamboozlement comes in and you end up double topping and making newer all-time lows. So I'm very hesitant to jump in, but I know Jay has traded Boyle with good effect. I think he's kind of, very much in tune with this one, maybe more than some of us are. So here's the 15-minute look on Boyle. It looks like we based out over here, south of 975 at around 9 2/3. The closing print from yesterday, if I can glean that, I can't. I have to switch over here to my other side, bring in UNG, and I'll be able to see it. Or will I? Boyle, come on, show me. Oh, here the closing print from yesterday is at 10 1/3. We were below the closing print. In fact, we used that 1040, 1038 or whatever it is, 1040 it looks like, as resistance essentially all morning. Then we break up above it. I think this is where Jay was liking it right there. Once we broke above that 1040, that's actually a good call out, Jay. We'll get Adara's sick trade in a second, but this is a good call out, Jay, because if we hold this level, we can use 1040 as support. What I am a little suspicious of is the fact that we didn't put in a newer high, Jay. All right? So we make this newer low. And then we've got this area as a local high. Look at yesterday's high. We don't make a new high. Look at today's high. So far, we haven't made a newer high. So we're still making lower highs, although we haven't made a lower low. So maybe that's working in your favor there. I don't know. I'm going to leave Boyle out of it. You know that I didn't do that well on it, so I'm just leaving it. He goes on to say, I agree, but I'm saying this was over $20 a month ago, expecting 15 plus within a week. I hope you print, Jay. Obviously, it goes without saying. I'm going to keep my eye on Boyle for you. Look at this. Tom R., $10. That mustache gives off I suck at options vibe. LOL, Joe. You don't have to joke, my friend. I'm not good at options. I'm okay with that. I can't be good at everything. I'm okay at some other stuff there.
Very special is saying, ouch, thanks for the super chat, but man, what a burn.
I'm okay with that, man. I know.
Maybe it's a razor burn?
Ooh. Well, I didn't shave today. So.
I was just joking because the mustache. Pretty proud of that. Also, I took $1.10 on Netflix. So basically, I have to say, this trade, I waited. I know I said earlier I was like looking at Netflix, but I was like, there's no world in which I will probably trade this, but it'll be nice to have it, right? Then I was looking at AXP, and I was like, maybe AXP will be a decent short. I'll pull that up in a second. But I was like, Adara, your Netflix is still Netflixing. You said you wanted the 90 EMA rejections. Why aren't you getting those 90 EMA rejections, Adara? Come on, girl. So I look at Netflix. We get to 635.50s. Then we pop all the way up into 637, like 636.50s. They say, Adara, if you come back to 636, that's where you short it. We did. I did. I chose to get out where I did too, because if you look here, we wicked down into on that really bullish looking candle that ended up meaning nothing. I wanted to get out here just below 635s. Happy I was able to take that trade there. Happy I had the confidence, or confidera, as Darwin said once. Whatever you want to say, I'm happy I had it. But Tesla over here too, I was going to say the apple of my eye, the Cybertruck of my eye. I don't know. The apple of my cyber truck, I don't know. But here we're below the 90 MA. We had that pop above. That is a very bearish looking candle. But that 238.30. What did we do in Tesla? 238.40 was the area I initially liked as resistance and support, flippity floppity. But this one has just been so bamboozling. It looks like we're going to give it up. Then we come back. It might actually be a range. I'm not comfortable trading it yet. Here, I tried that short earlier, got out because we got above my area of interest, and then it dropped another $1. So we know Tesla likes, to be a little. We call it stress level for a reason. Is all I'm saying. So I just want to be aware of it. Also, Sharif, you remember when you were like, "Oh, we can't call it stressful anymore because it's not doing those moves." Yeah, we redacted that. That's been redacted.
Oh, it's doing plenty of moves.
That thing, right? It was just so funny. At one point, we were like, "Oh, we can't even call it stressful anymore." And Tesla's like, "What do we mean?" Sometimes Tesla needs to charge, says Fabian. I'm recharged by that pun, so shout out to Fabian and Ramin for everything they do. Elon, I love this comment, and I think it's a very valid point as well. Should we just stay short all day long?
Ooh.
All day long? No pun intended.
I got it.
I mean, yeah, honestly, I think it's, to answer your question in a serious way, we're at low of days for on the Qs. We're at low of days for the SPY. So I think, it does look like the downtrend is continuing. Again, not advice, just my takes on these charts. But there are things, though, within some of these indices that are a bit different. Apple trying to curl higher, becoming an Apple turnover there, trying to turn back to the upside. And Tesla also getting a little bit of curl over here. So, yeah, I must be very cautious of taking any shorts here. But I also want to go long until I see a bounce off 238.70 because that was that area of rejection earlier. I am done punting for like this time being. How are you doing?
Good. I just got into an Apple short. I'm going to try this 20 exponential. I'm going to give it a little bit of room. But I think Adara is absolutely right because Apple is putting in higher lows. It's just we came into the 20 exponential and we're at low of day. So I'm going to give this the old college try. We're going to give it a little bit of room up to about the 16s. We get stopped out. Here it is right at the high of day again. What do we do here? Let's see a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to add here. Oh crap. What happened? Why didn't I add? There we go. So let's see if we get a retracement down to the downside above the $0.25. I'm out over here. So we're short 05s. Let's see if we can get a bit of a down move. There is a bit of buying coming in here on the future. So I'm going to put 224, 21 or 22s, and then we'll look to cover everything around there. So yeah, we'll give this a shot because Apple's been weak all day. So I don't mind giving this a try. And we're up on the day, so we can take a shot or two here, no big deal. I'm also keeping an eye on SERV. This thing has been an absolute monster. I had a dip trade set up at 7. This thing didn't even look at 7. It doesn't care about 7. It's on its way to 9. This thing is flying, my goodness. I mean, I've tried to have multiple entries on this on the day at areas where I liked. Essentially, I was trying to get basically a retracement, but it was just so strong. The retracements were so shallow, and they never really got to my level. Right now, it's rejecting off 9. As you can see, a bit of an aggressive rejection there. Whoa, that's a big boy drop. 893 high a day just dropped into 844. This thing's coming down fast and furious. I do like this area hold over here at around maybe 840, 850 thereabouts. That is the area crest that we put in at 1 o'clock. So usually what ends up happening is, support flips to resistance or whatever the textbooks say, or resistance flips to support, excuse me. In this particular scenario, you already got an 840 dip, so you had to front run it because the crest was at 836. This one dipped into 843. So there was an opportunity for you to get in if you jumped it, but you had to have been ready with a resting order or been watching it and super quick with the keys there. But a lot of good direction in this one. It's just going to have to come in to an area that I like. Let's see if it can weasel its way down a little bit lower. Maybe we'll try this one. I just got stopped at Apple. It just broke higher again. So I'll look again to the 50 exponential at 224.50. It didn't quite make it into the 50 exponential last time. Like this was what happened last time. I ended up basically adding into there and then took it back down. I don't want to do that again because I don't want to give back profits if it changes its direction, but I'll be looking, definitely get in 224.50. I may not have to wait long because we're already at 30. So this thing really flew up there. Good aggression from the dead one Apple, but I'm still looking short at the 50 exponential if we can get it. Let's look back at serve now. So double bottom off 840. And it is moving right, well, low 840s, not exactly 840s. 844, there seems to be a double bottom. I didn't see the book to see if there were buyers there. So let's see if this can weasel its way back down. Right now showing me 63s. Oh, wow, Apple just got into the 50 exponential. That was dang quick. Oh, my goodness there on AAPL. 50 exponential pop. What's the future doing? I have to have an eye on the future as well. So we're at the 10 exponential on the future. Wow, that was strong on Apple there. What the hell was that? It's blowing through that 50 penny level, 224.57 right now. The future's at the 10 exponential. Do we get short here? I'm going to try a short. It didn't add me. I'm going to try a short here. There we go at the 50 exponential. We're going to give this one the old college try. We'll see if we can get something a little bit lower here, maybe mid 30s. There we go. Oh, wow. It just didn't hang out there at all. I had it, and then it just skyrocketed up again. So much strength in the dead one right now. This thing doesn't want to get me out. So where are we short? We're short 48s, right back up into 43s. Here we go. Let's see if we can get a print in the mid 30s or so there. Let's see. We were getting prints. What are we at? 39s. Here comes 40. Okay, well, it bounces right back up again. So we're going to give this one a little bit of room, but I definitely like it at this level. It may not give it to me right away because we're still below 19.7 on the future. I still like this level. I'm going to hold it. So let's see what we get here, dear.
Yeah, I just took about 55 pennies on TSLA. Without my position, took the other half out pretty small here. I think we took like, let me math quickly, I'm tired. 25 pennies. I'm really happy with what I did with this. Pardon for crowds.
He's
oh,
pumped.
thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. I am really happy with what I did on that. I've just been trying really hard to commit to stuff I like. And this initially, this TSLA, one of my 239.70s, like I said, I waited for that. We go to 239s, we reject. I say, Dara, if we hold this area, you need to get involved. I initially got involved at 238.90s, then I'm like, we'll add it 238.80s, 238.70s, added it at 80s, then I scalped out. Thank you so much, Sean, for the
bang.
Wait, actually? Okay, Sean said I'm in fourth position apparently here for the PN, which like, thank you very much. I had no idea. Thank you for telling me that. This has been a really fun day for me to trade. I'm learning a lot today. Hiding the P&L has been really good for me. Tesla, thank you for letting me have the mission pass. Happy I gained some respect on that. Happy though, I also have Sharif. He's pumping his fist.
Yes, we just took Apple.
Oh, and if you're pumping your fist for any stocks, because I want to hear about Sharif's Apple in a second there, if whatever you're Tim cooking with, whatever you Musk want to be involved in, you have to get in that chat there, exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker you want. Maybe it's TSLA, maybe it's MSFT, maybe I sound like I'm giving an Oscar speech, but whatever stock you're interested in. KOSS, I remember that was from earlier today too. Let's take a quick look at costs because that might be worth noting here.
What just happened, Katina, man?
He got a chicken dinner winner.
$7 on Crowd.
$7 on Crowd. Shout out to Sean. Also, KOSS, wow, falling off that previous area of support. The volume fell off here as well because I guess people got bored. About 3 million shares traded on the day. But I would love to know what the man to my right is trading because I saw that Apple.
I'm looking at, sir, but I did get the 50 exponential retracement on Apple. We got 50s and we were able to cover there in the high 20s. So I'm happy with that one. Nice little trade, but it's bouncing right back up again. So if this one breaks the 50, I'm going to go long on Apple. But right now, it looks like it's going to reject the 50. So two 5-minute candles rejecting off the 50 exponential on the 5, right around that $0.50, 224.55 generally is where the 50 exponential is on my chart. So I'm watching this like a hawk because we reject there. I want to add into this one and take it down again. But I'm going to watch. I don't have to be first because we already have quite a bit of distance between where we're trading right now and where the low of day is. So I don't mind getting into this a little bit lower of a price to confirm that we are going to reject that 50 exponential. Jay Lee. I had some cost shorts on from 1150, only tiny size, sadly, but still great trade. Shout out to you. Cost is doing things. We yelled at about that one earlier. It didn't have a headline, Jay, which is why I stayed away from it because we know the Catman's been involved in this one. And, well, yeah, I don't really want any of the smoke there, to be quite honest with you, because I really don't know how to trade these. They're around for Not even a good time. They're around for a very short time and probably bamboozle most people that get into them unless you're really good, adept at trading these. I'm not. I need something like Serve. Serve is definitely something I can get behind. It's a small cap gapper. It may not show up tomorrow, but at least it'll hang out for at least part of the day. So great trade there for you to Jay. Kill it. I couldn't be happy for you guys over there. Killing it. I'm watching Apple, and Apple now is breaking through the 50 exponential over here. What's next for AAPL? Could it be VWAP at 225? I'm not going to have any resting orders. I need to see how it trades at those areas. This thing is really going over here. AAPL on the way to 224 3/4. AAPL now positive, up a fifth of a percent. Shout out to all the people who don't like fractions. But yeah, I'm still waiting at 225, Adara. I'm not petty. I'm just joking, you guys. I'm just joking.
It's up exactly 20%. 1 times 0.2.
Oh, there you go.
I'm just saying, like, no fractions, yeah.
Yeah, well, the British accent definitely adds a bit more.
I don't know
class
why I
there,
did that. Sorry.
Yeah, shout out to Adam. Yeah, no, I'm still waiting for 225. If Apple comes into 225, very interested in the short there. But right now, it's above the 50 exponential and in between VWAP. In no man's land, in my opinion, so not going to do anything with this unless this topping tails and then the subsequent red 5-minute candle makes a new low and goes red. I'll take it short there, but right now I'm going to wait there.
Yeah, I had a quick Tesla, took like 35 pennies on Tesla. Woo! This was a smaller position because I didn't feel as good about this one as I did in the previous one. Like I said, I have my my tired levels, my tired rules, where I'm a lot more discerning about what I trade. Thank you for the bang button there. And so in this case, I was like, Adara, you know, this, I actually got involved at 21, which, you know, maybe, you know, Sharif sometimes chooses levels. Maybe I chose 21 because of a certain song and rap I reference a lot. But I like the 21 level. We kept bouncing off 20s. I got involved. I said, if we see anything distinctly different, get out. But we ended up being able to take about 35 pennies here. I saw we got into 50s and 60s. Things were getting dicey, got out 57s. But also, if there's any stocks you want to talk about, we only have so much more time to vote, okay? Get involved in that chat, exclamation point, join, space, $, TSLA, AMZN, CRV. Maybe you want to know what got served there. Shout out to Serena Williams, Naomi Osaka. I only know female tennis players. But get involved there. Also, Venus, get involved there in that chat. Make sure you pick whatever you're looking at. Also, I mean, this chat from Kyle Burdett made me laugh here.
What did he say?
I can't find it now.
Big
but it was
Spile.
really, yeah,
He's
Big
always up to
Spile
no
said
good.
something that was pretty funny. What kind of cat would the Catman be if the Catman was a cat?
Oh, I don't know different cat types. I know
He
dogs.
looks like, I feel like he'd be like a tabby cat. Like the little orange dudes.
All right, is that apropos for a big?
I don't know. Well, I meant like the Catman. Because like he said, what kind of cat would the Catman be? I feel like maybe the Catman would be like Roaring Kitty. I don't know. Well, he seems like a tabby, like the cute little like they want to think they're all tough and rough, but they're cute. So there we go. NVDA trying to make some higher lows here, as is SOXL, I think maybe. But I'm more comfortable playing I was going to say more comfortable playing SOXL here. And then I looked at the NVIDIA chart again. NVIDIA was like, are you sure, Adara? Are you really sure? You know what? I'm really not. They both look similar. I might actually play them at the same time, which sounds a little wild, but look at what I'm seeing here. Yes, we're below the 90 MA, but look at these. We're trying to make some higher lows here, and we have all these beautiful bottoming tail candles. Don't mind if I do. But then you're like, Adara, SOXL too? What say you? Also, as I say this, we are kind of breaking down here, but SOXL, I say, because bottoming tail candles up the wazoo, and we also have higher lows here. Yes, we're rejecting the 90 MA. Could we have a breakdown? Sure, but I like that 47.11 bounce here. I would like to start building a position, not going to get everything involved in one fell swoop, but I want to start building a position because you know what? If you have that confidence, you owe it to yourself. I've been looking for this IWM. I've been looking at the SOXL since literally when I was actively in my Tesla trade, so clearly it's on my mind. I'm not going to chase this. If I can't get filled, I can't get filled, but I want to build into it, and I want to see those SOXL become a SOX W.
I like it.
Also, Kyle Burdett. Catman.
I like what he wrote before. Look, he's like answering somebody. He's like, I haven't even started drinking and smoking yet. And Big Spile's already dropping hot lines in the chat. Shout out to you. It's Friday, baby. Do your thing.
Good time.
All right, got short on Apple again and wet my beak again, right at the same levels and almost the exact same outs. I swear I didn't copy and paste, but this is literally the same trade twice over there. I think I got a bit of a better fill on the first drop there than I did the first beak wetter than I did the first time around. But yeah, same trade on Apple. It did bounce off yesterday's closing print. So even though it breached the 50 period, put a candle of indecision, and then made a new low, it seems to be finding support off the closing print, 224 and a fifth. No, I don't mean to troll you guys. But seriously, though, if it really starts holding up there and putting in these higher lows, we haven't got a higher high. The only way we get a higher high is a breach at 225 on a closing basis, and we haven't been up there yet. In fact, I'm going to be looking to short again if we get into 225. But anyway, that's the look on Apple right now. Been trading this all day. Apple was very bad to me this week. Today and yesterday, I did a lot better on it. Apple was single-handedly the reason I was red on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I was better. Yes, I was better on everything else. Apple absolutely killed me this week, but today and yesterday, we did a little bit better on it. When it's directional, I think that's when I can trade it. When it's not, when it really does the initial move, and then kind of just waffles all day sideways, a little zig, a little zag, I really do poorly on it. So I need to be more alive to when it's doing that so I stay away from it. But in any event, still keeping an eye on it here because I want to see what it does at the volume-weighted average price, at the price action resistance, at the $5 level, 225. That's all pointing at this 225 level. And I like number 25 because I'm born on the 25th. So I like that. I'm going to be keeping my eye out on that. But anyway, guys, there is 12 more minutes for you to have your say every day on the afternoon rundown. If there is a stock that Adair and I did not cover that you want Neil and Sean to give you their look on, you're going to get into the chat right now and you're going to use that prompt as you see on the screen. Just make sure there is a space between the word join and the $sign. Otherwise, Streamlabs will not register your vote. And so have your say every day and have Neil and Sean look at the name for you. And if they traded it, they'll tell you how they traded it. If they didn't, they'll tell you why or how they would have. So yeah, get into the chat right there and bully your friends in the chat to vote your way because only the top 5 names make it on. And I know I repeat that all the time, but I don't have a better line there. So we're just going to stick with that one. Okay, here we go. So SERV gave me exactly what I wanted and I didn't take it. It got that 8 1/5 dip and then shot right back up into 890. That would have been 70 pennies at the key area of technical resistance. We talked about that area being resistance, flipping to support. That's just kind of part and parcel of technical analysis. And yeah, sadly, I did not have it. What are people voting for there? NYSE, you need to enter an exclamation point before the word join. So I saw you typed in join there, then $sign NVIDIA. Just type in exclamation point before that word join. Same thing with you, Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper, your vote will not count unless you type in exclamation point before the word join. Just want to let you guys know. And Bears versus Bulls already letting him know that. Obviously, the world's greatest moderator is going to moderate, right? Right? Yeah. That's what he does. He's the world's greatest.
Moderate.
Look at Apple absolutely drop off there. 224. What a big boy drop. After topping out there at 224.80, it is now barely holding on to 224. In fact, it just gave way a little bit there. Bottoming tail candle, zig and zag, buyers and sellers fighting here at the whole dollar level. Adair, still a higher low, but definitely nothing that I want to get in long on at the moment.
Yeah, I tried a long in NVIDIA, and I'm looking at StockSell here, and I'm going to talk about StockSell first because I'm on it, but I will talk about NVIDIA in a minute. Both of these were gearing up for some little above. StockSell, if you got involved at 47.10, you actually could have made a couple pennies on it. They're not moving exactly, right? It's not like StockSell is NVIDIA, but there are some similarities here. StockSell trying to bounce off the 90 MA. I think this curl is a really nice look, but we have to talk about NVIDIA. Because NVIDIA, I wanted that long. I wanted all the smoke. I talked about bottoming tail candle after bottoming tail candle, curling into the 90, above the 90 MA here. I just didn't like what we're doing. We're making lower highs. To be clear, my entry point of 118 was probably not great either. I will be honest about that, but I think this could curl up. It's not going to be my type of trade. I got out when I realized we weren't really going to decisively, at least while I was in, I wasn't going to have that decisive scalpy break I wanted. So I got out here, lost about 5 pennies. So nothing, no, not anything I can lose sleep over. I'm not getting back in this long until it sees break above the 90 MA and bounce. To be clear, I would not short this here either, because we still have those bottoming tail candles. And honestly, but in retrospect, when I zoom out too, Niels always says, when in doubt, zoom out. This is kind of a bear flag. Not a huge bear flag, but we did have that downward move. Now we're kind of consolidating. You know, as Neil says though as well, like, you know, not every trade when you get out is gonna be flipping to the next direction. Some of them will, you have to discern which ones are which. In this case, I'm not sure this is a trade where I'm like, this will be the one where I flip short. Clearly I didn't, and I think that would have worked, but it's all good, baby, baby. 3 is a crowd. I didn't have any transition for that, but I am looking at CrowdStrike now. I like the 90 EMA rejection, and I'm really tempted to short this again. And why, you may ask, maybe you didn't, but I'll show you. Look at this area that we've seen a couple times come in here at this 303.50. Rejection, rejection, rejection. We come in here, massive support, break up, rejection. That 303.50 is kind of spicy to me, but it's like, and honestly, if my only reason for avoiding this is like, oh, I don't want to lose money, that's a really dumb reason to avoid this. I just haven't looked at the book enough to feel really, really good about this short. Furthermore, this is a textbook bullish engulfing candle. I don't want any of that smoke in that short if this thing furthers that bullish engulfing candle. Right, that thing is so beautiful. This bullish, I'm like, I don't want to short this right away, but we're still rejecting that area. So that's why I said I have some qualms, Sharif. I'm describing my qualms. Ooh. I look asleep in that image. Wow. Good times over here on these markets. Yeah, I missed the range. To be clear, I didn't want to trade this on a whim. I didn't want to trade on a whim. I wanted to make sure I liked it. But this one, not doing a lot of rustling. Oh, also, wow, this long. I got out of this long too early, but it's all good there. Clearly, EWIM was a bit of a range. I'm happy with the trades I took, but yeah, it's interesting. You come back, you notice stuff. This 216.60, 217.20 area, a bit rangy. What are you looking at?
You know what I'm going to have to look at from now on? I'm going to have a crypto, look, so I have tabs on these, right? Look at there. Look, so I can put my daily movers right there, my big tech right there. So now I'm going to have a crypto because quite frankly, crypto was really good trade today. Let's pull it up because the miners are moving up big. And now everybody's wondering, what the hell is going on with these miners? Why are they moving up when crypto doesn't move up? How come they're not retracing as aggressively as Bitcoin is retracing? And I have an answer for that. These miners want to actually diversify their game. And their game right now has been mining crypto. And what equipment do they use to mine said crypto? We all know it's these GPUs. Now, I know the AI GPUs are not the same as the mining GPUs, but that doesn't mean you can't use them for more simplified AI tasks, and that's what they're going to actually do. So a lot of these mining names, especially the ones in Texas, where energy is most of the time a little bit cheaper, they're really looking at now becoming these pseudo data centers, almost AI data centers. So an interesting not moat specifically, but an interesting way to expand your game and increase revenue. And so I do like that very much. And here's a look, Fabian at Riot Blockchain. Riot Blockchain, obviously, one of the many names that we look at. We look at Mora, we look at Riot, we look at CleanSpark, we look at Hut 8. Is there any others? There was before that.
We look at MSTR.
No, but that's not a miner. That's
sorry,
trust. Yeah, for sure. Though we always look at MSTR, and we're going to look at it more too once it splits, right? Because that's coming. Yeah, but Riot, anyway, Riot have a decent day today. Like, look, it gave you a nice little rounded bottom there. You had a very clear area off which to work. And if you put a dip trade at the closing print from yesterday, you did quite well. On its way up to 12 bucks, 9.77%. Obviously got shellacked yesterday. It dropped how much yesterday? About 15 some odd percent. So it's got some ways to make up over here, but breaking through 12 bucks. Fantastic look. I'm going to have to actually keep these guys on their own tab because I'm going to have to trade these now that they're absolutely in play. On the blockchain, it says most of the big mining companies are using ASIC miners. GPU mining is almost non-existent in the large farms. Interesting. Okay, thank you for that. It was different a little bit than the article that I read, which basically specifically mentioned Texas mining companies as looking to expand into not generative AI, but as AI data centers. Maybe you know something I don't know. Racer X9 bought the dip. This AM in Riot. Shout out to you. I think that's a good look. Riot obviously up big on the day, as we mentioned. There's other names that are up big in crypto world as well. If I can just bring in this super quick. You have obviously MSTR, usually the most, it has the biggest beta, I would say. The highest beta on in the crypto world. It's always up double digits when it's having a good day. 12% here for MSTR, dancing at that 17.5. Coinbase, the monster, almost 10%, having done 7.8 million shares. Mara, basically 6.5%, but Riot takes the cake here for the miners, 9 3/4, knocking the door 10, followed by Hut, 9 2/3, and then CleanSpark. CleanSpark had one hell of a year. You can see that by its year-to-date ascension. Look at CleanSpark. CleanSpark is up 66% year-to-date. That's how strong this name has been, and everything really, for the exception of SI Bank, Silvergate Capital, excuse me, is up on the day. So good luck for the mining names and for crypto in general, and that definitely is going to have me using a crypto tab there for sure, so I can keep an eye on the miners at all times. All right, Apple right back above that $224.50. So this is the kind of trading, or this is the kind of range on Apple that got me in a lot of trouble in the beginning of the week, and I'm not going to touch it now that it's doing this. The trend is becoming less discernible. It's zigging and zagging off areas that are not support and resistance, or are not readily identifiable as support and resistance, so I'm staying clear here to there.
Can I echo what you said about Apple? Because I've noticed that too. Apple would love to lure you. Apple is literally like in the Garden of Eden, like trying to tempt you, being like, oh, I'm arranged. Like, I promise if you get involved, I'll have this range. Look at what I've been doing. I promise if you trade me, I'll have this range. And then you get in, and it's like, what do you mean? I've noticed that with Apple as well, so thank you. I appreciate that you're saying that.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes you notice things, you're like, I'm the only one noticing it, so it's always nice. You know, sometimes validation is a little bit nice.
Yeah.
SOXL range king over here, though. Speaking of ranges, we get to about 47.10, then we're like 47.40s. This could be a scalp range. I don't want to take it right now. I tried to scalp a short here on the SPY, which you might think like, why and what? But we were breaking below the 90 MA there with a viciousness. Tried to take this. We popped back up. I lost 15 pennies on this. Sorry, there's a piece of hair on the mic. I apologize. My hair is very unruly. But yeah, so there also unruly though was the SPY. Look at that pop. Very happy I got it where I did. Sometimes risk management really is the key. But pushback, maybe pushback, because Mike,
we're moving.
Look at this. 549.30s though on the SPY. There's a bit of resistance earlier. Bounce, break. And now we're trying to break below. Do I want to scalp a SPY short here? I'm really tempted, guys. I'm not going to lie. That was a massive area here of support previously. We are withering away a little bit as we get to that level one more time. We have one more minute, though, to vote. Go in that chat. Yeah. Get in there. Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever tickers your fancy. Maybe it's SPY. Maybe it's SOXL. Maybe it's Netflix. Am I looking at my side chart? No one knows for sure. Maybe look at CRWD. Whatever you're interested in, get involved. Coinbase. Wow, I'm so sad I missed that SPY scalp short. But whatever happens next, I am definitely going to be looking for a bounce now off VWAP into that 30s area. Yeah, SPY, I see you. You want a range? I will play that game with you. Coin is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, this push. It's like flying a kite to the upside there for coin.
Man, crypto's flying, Adara. What the bad word?
Right? That's what Fabian's saying now with the, that's how he feels about crypto. Coin gorgeous. I also want to look at AXP again quickly too, because that was an earnings name we looked at once and then not again. Yeah, AXP is still in this trying to recover here. Bit of an uptrend. I want to see what we do. Should we get to this 241.60s? That was definitely an area of resistance, support in the pre,
Crypto's
and then
flying.
it formed a resistance off the open. Keep an eye on 240, this 241.60 area. SPY though, I think I might be scalping some longs here if we bounce off the 90 MA. I'm deeply enticed.
Wanda Brown, nice to see you too, my man. Shout out to OG Darwin. I'm rich, Fei.
Is that what he would say?
Yeah, he's so funny. Adira, I repeated the exact same trade 3 times today, and I'm really happy about it here. I think they look identical. Like, this keeps coming into the same area. I'm going to keep shorting the same area, and I'm going to keep wetting my beak at the same area. The dead one is ranging right now. Again, I'm just joking when I call Apple the dead one. It's just an old name we call it. 224.50. Generally, Katina, man, that looks awfully good on a hot day. I like that. And keeps bouncing off different areas. I mean, that's the thing. The resistance seems to be the same. The support, take your pick. Sometimes it breaks through 224. Sometimes it holds up at the $1/5 of a dollar. So that's why I got out where I got out, because the support is kind of random. Now, while Apple is stuck in a range, let me tell you about what just broke through a range for the first time on the day. TSLA, and I did not mean for that to rhyme, but it is coming into an area of support at this general 241.5. We do have a consolidation area bottom there that we defended from 1010 this morning to the big boy Huadunk at 1125, and it's not like we bounced off there and stayed above. No, we kept bouncing into that 241.5. So I will probably not be able to trade this because I'll be at the green screen, but 241 and 2/3 to 241.5 looks like a solid level on Tesla for me. Now, what did Tesla do that it hadn't done all day? Break the 20 exponential on the 5-minute chart. And now the 20 and the 10 are both pointing upward. They haven't all day. Pre-market they did, but that doesn't count. Essentially, since the bell rung, the 10, the 20, and the 50, none of them has pointed upwards. Now we have kind of a sideways look to the 50, and the 10 and the 20 are both looking upwards. But I would say definitely look for that 241.50 rejection there. Now, the sad thing about this is that 241.50 looks awfully good, but look what's a skosh above it. VWAP. So you never know whether it will have that magnetic effect into VWAP or you get that actual level rejection, the price action resistance level that would reject. So my suggestion to you would be is don't have a resting order for that particular area, or you have planned DCAs, the first one being that 241.5, the second one being VWAP, and then I'd look to get everything out if it was to break that decisively. So TSLA curling up in a way that it really hasn't done all day, hasn't broken the 20 period all day, and now we're getting a bit of a move up, but I'm definitely looking at 241.5, 241 and 2/3 to see what happens in and around that area. Now you're getting some 20 period retracements here on the future and on NVIDIA. So I'm trying to look to see if there's any similarities, right? Yeah, there's some similarity between the NQ September contract and NVIDIA, but nothing really that's too much in tandem. Sorry for the icons kind of moving a little bit to the side there. Let me just move them back so you guys can see all the charts. Yeah, that's it for me. Let's see what SERV is doing, SERV. This is the one that really has been in play all day, the small cap gapper that's been in play, absolutely respecting that $8.40 level, which it peaked out at earlier over here. Definitely holding on to that. Every dip seems to find a buyer at that 840, 830 level, whatever, generally that area. But you're getting a flat top around 9. So I don't know. I see higher lows with a flat top. You know what that means? Flat top break. I don't have an animation for that, but you guys get it. 897 HOD, and it has not broken the 10 exponential since 1210. Man, we're almost 2 hours deep of no 10 exponential break. So SERV. Serving its traders very well today, Adara.
Ooh, that was bad. I have no notes.
Just call a spade a spade. It was bad.
I liked it. I liked it. Also, I like that the SPY coming back to my level. I tried to short this earlier, 548.80s. That was like the range on this, on the book and in the chart. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. 111. 10 out of 10. Then we break below the 80s though, and I'm like, because I tried to short this earlier, didn't work. I'm like, hey, but Adara, you still like that level. That level is proven to be support. Now it's proving to be resistance. You know what you have to do? Punch in. Now, you might be like, Adara, I thought you were more discerning about your trades when you're tired. I am. I was very hesitant to take this, but I said, Adara, this is a level you like. It does fulfill all of your tired trade checklists. You're taking it with an appropriate amount of size, which is basically none because it's the SPY, and you are live. So there we go here. Very small position. I want to see us stay here below 80s. I don't know if we will. So we're going to be watching my SPY wiffle waffle around here. Yeah, okay. Don't like this. We're going to be getting out here. If we get about, yeah, there we go. Got above 90s trying to get out. Come on, SPY. There, come on. But there we go. Happy I tried it because I did like the level. And that's my thing too is, yeah, I feel like the trading went pretty well today. I'm really proud of what I did today. But I also didn't want to stop taking trades just because there were things that worked out. Happy I go to this trade when I did though, because 549 broke out. Baby Buffett, thank you so much for the 2 super chats, each $1. Not seeing a message here for the super chat, but thank you very much for those 2 $1 super chat supports. Thank you so much there for that. Also, Darwin saying I forgot Tesla's also a BTC play. Reddit also could be a Bitcoin play by that in that regard. Because Bitcoin and Reddit, we know Reddit has some Bitcoin. So I think that's
Elon has quite a bit of Bitcoin, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, I think that's why Darwin mentioned like, Tesla is a Bitcoin play. But I just was thinking Reddit could be that as well.
Yeah, I didn't know actually Reddit had Bitcoin.
Yeah, that came out before their IPO when they were filing. They got a decent. I don't know how much they have. I bit of Bitcoin. I think, yeah.
I like that. I like
Good
that.
times.
All right, we've got about a minute or so left before I make my way onto the green screen, guys. I didn't really see much in the way of suggestions for the lesson, so I think we will do gaps next week. Hopefully, we'll get it in a way that we can use it intraday, or maybe we'll have like a gap for earnings lesson. I'll figure it out over the weekend, but I think we're going to definitely do gaps. Appreciate Bears versus Bulls. Appreciate everybody, obviously, in the chat. I hope everybody printed up a storm today. It was obviously a negative week for the Mag 7 and the market in general today, but there's a lot more ways to trade intraday anyway, both north and south, and I hope everybody did well, Adara. I'll send it to you, and I'll see everybody very shortly on the green screen.
Sharif will see you in literally just 3 minutes. Thank you so much, Sharif, for everything you do for preparing those lessons. Thank you to Bears versus Bulls thanking us here, saying, great week of edutainment. Appreciate you both so much. We appreciate you, Bears versus Bulls. I appreciate this whole community. Proud to say this is I'm done trading for the day and don't look at my P&L. I am happy to say, though, now that I'm done my trading for the day, this is the best day I've had since going live, and I am green on the week. So I'm proud of what I did. Last week, like I said, last Friday was rough. Got shut down, fully deserved it, but sometimes you need to have your back against the wall to kick yourself into high gear. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate the bang buttons, guys. I'm really proud of what I did here, and I'm also proud. Top names for CrowdStrike, Tesla, and Netflix. So those are all a little bit more difficult names too. Thank you for the bang buttons. Yeah, not trying to wax poetic, but I think sometimes you have. When things go well, you have to recognize what works for you, stuff that maybe you wouldn't have thought would have worked. So, let's crowd back into CrowdStrike to take one last look at what this one was doing, because wow, CrowdStrike, I don't know if this one will get voted for, but I know we'll talk about it because Sean had those awesome light bulb moment trades. This thing was crazy. We had those levels earlier, the 1350, 312.50, and then eventually that 311, 310 breakdown, which as you guys could tell was pretty much an area of support locally, broke down viciously, then VWAP and that 308 becoming kind of spicy as well. I'm not going to waste all the analysis because I'm sure Sean will have much more eloquent things to say. Thank you guys so much, though, for this awesome chat. I am honestly a great community. So happy to be part of it. Shout out to everyone in the back, all the traders that you don't see. So happy birthday to Obi again. I'm not eating this cake yet. Shout out to everyone here. Great times. But I'm going to stop with my Oscar speech, and we are going to pass you over pretty soon to Sharif. But Uzi Game GP saying more like down strike, which I guess not incorrect there. That is certainly for sure. That one got down. Yeah, thank you, Max Tycho. I want to stay positive because I think, it's a lot of times you're going to be red on the day, right? You're going to be red on the day. You're going to be red on the week maybe, but you got to be green on yourself, green on positivity. Otherwise, if you don't believe in yourself, no one's going to believe in the trades for you. But right now, I believe we're switching to the green screen. See you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Welcome to the afternoon rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Neil and Sean, they are locked and loaded. They're ready to take the names as decided.